Welcome, students, to another episode of Manhood Academy Podcasting. We're in the classroom today. It's a very small class. We have with us, let's see, let me get my little roll sheet up here. We have Paperclip with us today. We got DBP.
Yo.
And first-time new student, Knight, a.k.a.
Hello.
Dr. Knight. So this is our classroom format. Usually we have a few more students in here, but they might think that the class is actually starting at 6:30. So sometimes we get students that come in late. Other times, if you need to leave class, DK likes to always announce I'm leaving class. Just leave, that's fine. Big L is actually on here. Should we bring Big L in? Is he finished with his paper? I'm scared to ask. He's got an assignment. He hasn't finished his grammar assignment yet, I don't think. I'm going to let him suffer. I'll let him stay outside of class for now.
You gave him another assignment?
No, he hasn't finished his grammar assignment. It's still incomplete, so we're gonna keep him out of class until it's done.
Cheer.
Actually, we can bring in Willie. Let's see if Willie wants
Willie
to come
Gilligan?
in. Yeah. Let's see if Willie wants to come in. You love Willie Gilligan in class. Willie, you there?
This class is very lonely with 3 people.
I know, it's so lonely and intimate. Willie, you there? Yo, Willie.
Honestly, when I only have a bunch of people, I feel more alone than with company. I don't know why.
You always feel alone in a crowd?
Yeah, I don't like hanging out with a bunch of people. I like hanging out with just a select few.
Well, today's your select few class. Well, let's get right into it. We got a new student here, so why don't you introduce yourself to the rest of the class? Tell us a little bit about you, how you found the academy, why you're here.
Well, my name's Jonathan, 31 years old, from Texas. Somewhat pathetic, not quite a man.
What do you mean? Whoa, pathetic, not quite a man. What's that mean? That's a big description there.
Yes, it is. Well, I've had some thinking about how to phrase it. Well, anyway, I found you by someone linked me that, I guess it was a chart that was centered on Sean Connery.
Aha,
from,
the
Terminator
authority
to the
chart.
other one, and from that I found your website and everything else. And I've recently moved in with some rather dysfunctional family, and it made me see some of my own problems a little clearer. And when I saw the ebook and finished reading through it, it seemed to make a lot of sense to me.
Right, so you got a hold of the ebook today, and you went right through it. And lo and behold, you found somebody linked you to our... it's the authority chart, I believe, and it's got
That's it.
We covered that on a previous podcast. So you're here via the chart, and you read the ebook. So now you kind of mentioned that you clicked with some of the things that were mentioned in the ebook. What were some of the things that stood out to you? Anything that stood out to you?
Well, it seems that I have a tendency to cede authority to whether it's just events in the situation or a woman or.
Now, is this what usually this happens
with.
if you have problems enforcing your expectations? In other words, exercising your authority. Usually, it's with everybody. So, does this include men and women, or do you notice it more with women or with men?
With everyone.
With everyone. Okay. So
I have a tendency to just kind of float along, and I've got to stop that.
Sounds like a lot of students here. We're in the right place. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Usually, we like to cover 2 things: your expectation management posts, which are basically your real-world interactions with people. And you haven't had a chance to explore the forum that much yet, probably, but if you go, you see there's an expectation management section on our forum, and that's where we talk about all the concepts we learned from the ebook in section 3, the application of everything you learned in the ebook. So that's where it all comes together, and you can see students' reports basically that have to do with their entire life, whether it be their girlfriend, their boss, their coworker, brother, sister, mother, father, etc. That's where they report on those interactions and how they managed them, or if they failed to manage them correctly. And then you can see how the students critique them, where the problems were, and from producing your own reports and critiquing other students' reports, you kind of get an idea of how to manage your expectations. You realize when somebody's violating your expectations. You realize when you're making justifications when you shouldn't, or when justifications are appropriate, or when you need to punish somebody or reward somebody. So you see all those things working out, and you see them in very simplified form, so you can kind of recognize them in your own interactions with other people. The other part we like to cover is expression, which is, you can see the expression section up there, and this is basically how you express your expectations to other people, how you convey your person. And this is super important because you can be the greatest person at managing your expectations. You can know what your expectations are, and you can enforce them, you can reward people, you can punish people accordingly. But if you can't express those expectations to other people, you can't communicate what your needs are to other people, you're going to have trouble managing those expectations. There's going to be no way for you to interact with those people in a practical way. So it's very important that your expression is worked on, that you practice expressing what is on your mind, your thoughts, your feelings, etc. And so we get into the particulars of that, so you know exactly what good expression sounds like. Oh, we got another student coming in. We're gonna get Blue in here. Blue. Bringing on the Blue.
One of my favorite students.
Oh, he's got a red slash next to his name. That
means busy.
He's
That's
busy.
not good.
All right, we'll wait till he invites himself.
He's busy on the internet.
I think the Boggles might want to come in. Let's see if the Boggles wants to come in.
Oh.
You never call him Boggles, you just call him the Boggles.
The Boggles. He's one of our oldest students, the Boggles.
Yes, he has like a title that precedes him.
Yes. We'll get into that later. Okay, so let's start right up in podcasting topics. How to initiate like a pro. This is the very first.
Post where you,
we're on page 1 of podcasting topics. We're in the film and lecture section. The very first topic.
2 or 3 badass motherfuckers.
Let me see. Looking for 2 to 3 badass motherfuckers. So this was posted. This was posted by Mr. Care Bear in the student lounge.
No, that wasn't by Care Bear.
This was posted by Guerrero.
Oh, I'm on page 2 of the thread. Hold on, let me go to page 1 of the thread. So
well, you probably put page 2 there because there was something you wanted to talk about.
So Torero basically posted something in the student thread. Is this guy trying to cause me problems? What is he doing? He's popping in and out. Okay, so this guy, Torero, is one of our students, posted something in the student lounge when we talked about initiating social interaction. We talked about leading social interaction. And he said, who would like to be my accountability partner for my schedule? So students are charged to make schedules, to start organizing their life, to start getting their expectations met, and to know exactly what they should be doing during the day. Because if you don't know what your expectations are, generally you're the type of person who twiddles your thumbs during the day, who doesn't know what you should be doing at any given moment of the day. You're kind of just directionless, just kind of floating around going with the flow. Basically, you're the guy being flushed down the toilet. So we have you making schedules so that you can start figuring out what you want to accomplish, what your expectations are, and you can see exactly what you should be doing during the day. So Torero, one of the best things to do when you're making a schedule is to make it with another student, or to get together with another student to check and see on your progress with your schedules, to see if you're keeping to your schedule. You want to make sure that your schedule is challenging enough where you're actually trying to do something, to accomplish something with it, but you don't want it to be unrealistic. So that means if you can schedule your work in, your class time, Manhood Academy activities, hanging out with friends, etc., and that's all you can schedule, then that's a schedule you should make. It shouldn't be so unrealistic where the activities feel overwhelming to the point where you just can't do them. You're just like, this is too much stuff. I don't want to do it. Forget it. So your schedule has to be realistic. If it's not realistic, it's not going to work. And one of the best ways to make sure your schedule is realistic and you're keeping your schedule is to get a partner. So Torero is initiating a social interaction. He's saying, look, I need help. So he's posting in the student lounge, hey, I need somebody to make my schedule with, or to help me keep track of my schedule. And he says, obviously this is a mutually beneficial relationship because I would check in with your schedule too. So he's basically doing what we're talking about here at the Academy, which is super important, which is to start forming relationships with other students. One of the ways to do that, or one of the major things you're going to learn how to do, is to start initiating social interactions with people. So for instance, you have a new guy here, Dr. Knight in class, first-time student. Nobody knows him. Nobody knows what he's about. Nobody knows where he's from. Nobody knows his experience. Nobody knows what he's like. Nobody knows what problems he has with managing his expectations. He's a big question mark. He's a big mystery. So as students who have been in the program for a while, your obligation, your responsibility, what you should be training for is to initiate a social interaction with him, to initiate a relationship with him. So you're going to have to introduce yourself. You're going to ask him questions about him. You're going to basically go out on a limb and say, look, there's no reason for me to talk to this guy. This guy has no reason to talk to me, to just all of a sudden introduce himself. He's a new student. I have to take the initiative. This is the same if you were, let's say, for instance, you wanted to date a girl. Well, if you just sit back passively, nothing's going to happen. But if you take the opportunity and you say, well, I want to form a relationship with this girl. I think she's cute. I'm attracted to her for whatever reason. I want to get to know her. So what am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to initiate the social interaction with her. I'm going to have to introduce myself. I'm going to have to get her interest going. So this requires me to do something, to lead the conversation. I'm going to have to lead the interaction. If I just say to Dr. Knight, I just say to you, hey, Dr. Knight, what's up?
Not much.
Not much. That's your response. You know why your response is not much?
No.
Because I haven't led the interaction properly. I have left everything up to you. I'm a passive person. I've become a passenger in the conversation. I'm leaving everything up to you. So when I say, what's up? I'm demanding of you to tell me what's up. Tell me your interests. Tell me who you are. Tell me what's going on in your life. But if you're a person who also doesn't know how to manage your expectations, who also doesn't know how to conduct a social interaction, you're a passive person too. So you're just going to answer, not much, or I'm fine, or what's up with you, right? We might have the what's up. We might be the what's up brothers. And nothing gets done.
I definitely find myself doing that.
There you go. We have a typical dead relationship. This is the type of relationship you typically have with your bros, where you see your bro and you say, hey, what's up? And he says, what's up? And you high five and that's it. You're done. You're done for the day. Or you hang out. You maybe you go play baseball, or you do an activity, you play chess or something together. But that's the extent of your relationship. And it's sad because a lot of people have that same relationship with their close, quote, quote, close friends for years. It's the same type of superficial, how's it going? Not much. How are you doing? I'm fine. Let's go do something. That's it.
Even with family, like especially when kids, they move out and they just start talking to their parents again. I've seen that happen a lot. With say, hey, what's up? And it's just generic like that.
Hey, Dad, how's it going?
Conversation.
I'm fine. How are you, son? Good. Okay, cool. Let's go watch TV.
I know, it's very sad to see, like, when especially when you've seen these people so close before, like when you were growing up, and then just see them degenerate into, like, saying, hey, what's up, dude? And then that's all they say for the whole day, and then they call it, like, a relationship with their parents.
I wouldn't say this is a degenerating relationship. I would say it's already bad from the start. It's just that it wasn't manifested yet, because when they're children, people are very easy and open to talk to. Children will volunteer themselves. You don't have to ask a child to open up to you. Children are naturally open and will talk to you, etc. But if you don't realize that it's your responsibility as the adult to lead them in a social interaction, to get them to talk about themselves, to open up yourself to them and share your life with them, if you don't realize that's your obligation as the guy in the relationship, you'll kind of take it for granted. And the kid will be open as a child, but as he grows up and as he picks up the habits around him of his peers, he's going to realize that other people around him don't open up, so he shouldn't open up. He's going to view opening up as a bad thing, so he's going to become quieter over the years. And eventually you're going to realize, or you're going to think, this guy's just a closed off person. You know, he just doesn't want to talk that much. I don't want to prod him. So you don't even know what's going on. So you guys are mutually quiet, and eventually what you consider to be a deteriorating relationship, I would just consider to be the manifestation of their social skills. They don't have social skills. Most parents don't have social skills. They just kind of respond to what their kid is giving them. Their kid is
social skills with kids. That's why people love dogs.
Yeah, exactly. You notice people who will be quiet at the office or won't say anything at the office will all of a sudden see a dog and say, "Oh, hey, here, puppy, how are you doing? Oh, look, you're so happy, you're so funny. You're look at you moving your leg like that. That's so cute. I like how you do that." They're talking to a fucking dog who doesn't respond. Why can they open up with a dog? Because it's very easy to manage your expectations with a dog. A dog can't say no to you. Dog can't disapprove of you. Dog can't reject you.
And a dog's very open. I mean, when you see somebody walking a dog down the street and the dog sees you, the first thing it's going to do is it's going to try fighting the leash so it can come meet you.
Yeah, it wants to sniff you. It wants to find out about you. It's wagging its tail. It's happy, etc. So it's like a child. It's very open. So people are very open around their pets. But once it comes to people, they clam up. They shut down. Again, this is a manifestation of their social skills or lack of social skills. So here you see a perfect example of a student learning how to get his expectations met. He's got a schedule. He needs another person to fulfill the requirements of the schedule. So he's making an announcement. Hey, I need people to help me meet the demands of my schedule. Can somebody help me out? So he's opening himself up not only to potential students who would help him out, but also to criticism. Why are you such an asshole? Why are you so incompetent? Why are you so helpless that you can't make your own schedule on your own? So he's opening himself up to criticism. So he's opening himself up to a lot of things. So he has to learn how to manage his expectations so he can handle all these different things that are going to come his way as a result of him initiating a social interaction with strangers that he doesn't know. What's a better way to initiate the social interaction? He's just said, hey, I need somebody to help me out with my schedule. Can somebody help me out? What's a better way to initiate the social interaction, Paper?
Sending a private message to one of the students and asking him personally to assist him.
Sending a personal message to one of the students specifically, or to several students, specifically naming them. Why is that important, DVP?
Because instead of just addressing the form as a whole, because nobody's gonna respond to his post. If you ask them directly, I guess it puts the accountability on them to say no.
Yes, you're putting the other person to a decision. A person who is socially competent always puts another person to a decision. You will always force them to make a decision at some point. So, for instance, if you go into a room of people, let's say there's 30 people in a room and you're in the room, and you say, hey, I need some help taking this heavy stuff into my car. Can somebody come over and help me? How likely are you to volunteer to help this guy out? Not very likely. It's an effort. It requires some effort on your part. And plus there's 30 other people, or there's 29 other people in the room. Why can't they help him? Why can't it be their responsibility?
Yeah.
Why do I have to volunteer? But if he says, hey, you, DVP, can you help me take stuff to my car? All of a sudden, he's put the responsibility on your shoulders to answer for his expectation. His expectation is, hey, I want you to help me. You specifically, you, DVP, you, this person. So it's good to make your expectations as specific as possible. When you become socially competent, you're going to learn how to have very specific expectations for when you're talking to people. How you expect them to respond to you. What you expect to contribute, for them to contribute in a relationship. If they're a buddy or if they're a romantic interest, you're going to have very specific expectations for them. As a socially incompetent person, you're going to have very general expectations for people. So if you talk to a buddy, your expectation might be just for him to hang out, for him just to stay there. So let's, who wants to be added?
Willie Gilligan.
Willie Gilligan wants to be added to the class. Willie, welcome to class.
Hi.
Hi, shy guy.
Hello.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We got another guy in class. His name is Dr. Knight. He's a new guy.
Hey, what's up, man?
Not much.
he's the what's up guy.
We were just talking
about guys that say what's up, Willie Gilligan. Guess what? That's you.
Oh, in case you didn't know, Blue dropped in as well.
Blue's in here. Blue. Hey,
Blue's in the house.
guess what, Blue?
Brewster.
We got a new student in here. His name is Dr. Knight. Also, his other name is Knight in the forum.
We're glad to have you. Can't wait to read your posts.
Oh, now he's got a specific comment. See, Blue is a little more advanced. So when he's initiating the social interaction, he's not just putting the demand on you. Like Willie Gilligan is one of the what's up guys. He's very shy. He's just like, hey, what's up? I want to put the burden on you to entertain me, to stimulate me. But Blue, he's a little more seasoned, so he realizes what's up's not going to get the job done. He wants to know about your posts. He's glad to meet you. He's making specific, he's trying to stimulate you so that you have something to respond to. He realizes leading the conversation is his responsibility. So once Willie Gilligan realizes the conversation is also his responsibility, the next time he greets you, he's going to say, this is your cue, Willie.
We're glad to have you.
Yes. First, he's going to express his gratitude. He's glad to have you. Hey, I like having new students in class.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
Right.
Thank you.
So he's also going to say, because he's learning how to, in his expression, he's learning how to express his reactions to things around him. This is going to stimulate other people to respond to him and then engage him in the conversation. So he's going to say, glad to have you. I don't know anything about you. I don't know if you're from Russia. I don't know if you have an accent. I don't know if you're from Texas. I don't know if you're from India. I don't know if you're a crazy serial killer guy. I don't know if you are a stud with women. I don't know if you're in the wrong place, if you accidentally stumbled into Manhood Academy. I don't know if you're a super shy guy like me, but I want to find out about you. See all those reactions I had, all those different considerations I had were in my head, but because I am competent at social interaction, I made those thoughts known to you. So I told you what my reactions were, my candid reactions were to having you in the class. Now you have you've been stimulated by me. Now you have something to respond to. Now I can have a conversation with you because I've stimulated you. You're encouraged to respond to me because of that. That's me leading the conversation. That's me directing you how to meet my needs, how to meet my expectations. My expectations are basically these are my needs, and my leading the conversation lets you know this is how you can meet my needs. So right now, my need is to talk to you. You're a new student. I'm an instructor. I want you to open up. I want you to join the class. I want you to become social. I want you to get your expectations met. So these are my expectations for you. So to do that, I realize I have to stimulate you. I have to give you an ebook. I have to teach you how to socialize. I have to give you examples. I have to correct you when you're doing it wrong. So there's all these little steps I have to take to shape your behavior, to lead this conversation that we're having, to lead this social interaction. At your time here at the academy, I'm going to be leading it. I'm going to be directing your behavior so that you will be able to talk to a new person fresh off the street, your family that you've known for years, or, a girl you just met, whoever it happens to be. You'll be able to go, oh, here's my expectation for this interaction, and here's how I get it met. You're going to know how to do that. You're going to know how to initiate conversations with people. You're going to know how to get that person to meet your needs.
I see. And
So-
that actually kind of covers what some of my expectations are for joining the class here, is somewhere I can, learn techniques and practice and talk with others.
There you go. So we're gonna take you through a typical class. You can just kind of sit back and see what's going on, but you'll slowly learn the ropes, and I'm sure some of these students here will help you along. Blue, we just covered Turo's post. We covered the first post in the podcasting topic section.
Is that the first page or the second page?
Yeah, first page. We're on the first page, so we're gonna delete that. Gone. One down. One to go. Okay, at the 7:30 mark, somebody remind me to start on expression posts. So we're gonna switch over to expression posts and work on expression posts.
Wait, so you mean in an hour?
In an hour, exactly.
Okay.
So at the halfway mark, we're gonna switch over to expression posts. So much for specifically initiating a conversation directly. You ever catch any of our podcasts? Why did I say that? I was responding to somebody.
You were responding to Turo.
Oh, that was to Turo. That's exact. So Turo had something good about his post that he actually decided to initiate and to get people to help him with his schedule. But I corrected him and said, look, so much for specifically initiating conversation directly. You ever catch any of our podcasts? So I was basically hinting that he needed to initiate directly with students, with particular students. So this is, let's see, haven't heard the two newest ones. Okay, point taken, blah, blah, blah. Thanks, Tro. What do you mean by accountability partner? Okay, so this is covered in the post that you guys can read this post in the student lounge that's in there. Oh, I accidentally deleted part of his post. Oops, sorry, Tro. I meant to delete the post from the podcasting topic section. Poor guy.
Written history.
Now, nobody will know what he's even talking about. Unless you listen to the podcast. Okay. Not looking forward to this one. Uh-oh. This sounds like an expectation.
Yeah, this Robin Blue.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
I was looking forward to this one.
Is this the Robin Blue fight?
No, this is the
This is
Robin,
the Robin
fight.
Bogler fight.
The Robin Bogler fight?
Yeah,
mother-
do we even have to cover this? I mean, it's pretty much resolved.
Do we have to cover it? The Robin Blue drama?
Well, it's the Robin Boggles drama.
I'm sorry, the Robin Boggles drama?
Bystander.
With
Yeah,
What topic is this?
Rob was basically telling Boggles why he was wrong, and then telling him, and then trying to teach him, and then you basically told him why he's in no position to teach. He doesn't know anything about the ebook.
This is a dubious topic. Hold on, let me bring in, before we go on, let me bring in
Look up
Dr.
Tim
Nice,
Will.
do you know where we are?
We're in the podcasting topics, and the next topic is Blue's experience. There's a link to it. If you click on the link, it'll take you right to what we're talking about.
Page 1 of the podcasting topics. A lot of guys, they go to page 2, and then they get lost. That's what I did for a while, so just make sure you're on page 1. It should be the first post.
You see where that is, Dr. Knight?
That example link?
Yeah. Do you see the first post in the podcasting topics? The
Here,
first page.
I'll link it in Skype chat for you. Top of the page.
Tim Will, you got your TV on? Yes. I can hear the
Yes.
sounds over there. Turn that off and put some headphones on.
Headphones are on. Where do I find that Skype chat in here? Just
Okay.
not the noise.
Basically, at the bottom of the Skype window, there should be, if you mouse over.
I see.
Yeah, there you go.
It's glowing.
There you go.
There you go. Good job.
Tim Will, we got a new student, Dr. Knight.
Hey, Dr. Knight. How are you? I've been doing all right. How are you? Oh, not too bad.
Another pro conversation. How are you? I'm fine. How are you? Tim Will obviously hasn't been paying attention in class. Let's see. We're gonna shock you. We're gonna bring in Jar. He's one of the hardcore students. Let's see how he does. He doesn't even know he's being
I've got
tested.
that baseball gif up on my damn screen now.
Jar's coming in for his test. He doesn't even know he's walking into a minefield.
Oh, place for Jar.
Jar. Oh no. Jar's mic. Jar's connection right now is horrendous. Jar, back up a little bit from your microphone. How you doing, Jar? Oh no, Jar.
Okay. I'll turn the mic volume down.
There we go. It sounds a
I'm
little
doing
better.
okay. I mean, like everything fine.
No, I was talking about your microphone because you sounded like
sitting for this.
you sounded like the Terminator for a little bit.
Yeah. Jar, we have a new student, Dr. Knight, in here.
Jar's connection is shot. Jar, what happened to your connection lately? You forgot to pay your internet
Dr.
bill?
Knight. Oh, how new is he?
Just joined today, actually, like 2 hours
No,
ago.
I'm house sitting for somebody who lives in the middle of bumfuck.
Oh, that's why. Jar has
No,
not only has connection issues, he has serious lag. So he's hearing everything like 5 to 10 seconds later after it's being said.
Yeah, it's like Big L times 4. So if I have to go,
Don't worry, Jar. Just don't talk. Just stay quiet. Just listen in.
okay.
We were actually going to test you because we said you were one of the hardcore students. We were going to put a lot of pressure on you and have you talk to the new student and see how you did. So we were testing every student as they joined the podcast.
Makes me feel even better, Jar. I failed miserably.
Tim Will just tanked. Crash and burn. All right,
Well,
so
I would have been excited to try that. For sure.
Well, wait. Well, hopefully when you get back, you'll have a decent connection and we won't have so much lag. Okay, so we're covering
Alright, I'll stop.
Bogler and Rob drama from a long time ago. I don't even know if we need to cover this. Blue, what's your take? Do we need to cover this?
No, let's just move on. Boggles and Mindboggler are not even here.
Okay, let's
Boggles
not.
and Mindboggler?
Yeah.
Boggles and Mindboggler are not here. Yes. Yeah, let's not cover this. And the funny thing is, it's all on your thread. Why is it even on your thread?
I don't remember why. I know there's a good reason for it, but I can't think of it.
I actually wanted to cover this, but I don't remember the reason why I wanted to cover this. Oh, I think it was because Rob has a tendency to lecture students about their social competence or what they're not doing right when he is probably one of the most failed students on the forum. This is a big problem with some students where they will feel the need to lecture other students. Bogler has this problem too, so it's ironic that he's lecturing Bogler, and he's also lecturing Blue on what they're doing right or what they're not doing right.
Mr. Careburster, sounds like him.
Mr. Careburster is another one of these guys, the lecture guys. They want to be instructors, and first of all, they have to graduate from the academy in order to be social
Or make
competence.
one post.
Yes, instructors. Or, yeah, they have to make a post. This guy has not made a post yet on the forum, and he's already instructing.
He hasn't made one EM post or one expression post.
Another notorious guy is Wolf. Wolf loves to make posts about other people's, EM reports or their expression posts, but yet he doesn't post any of his own EM reports or expression posts. Another failed student. Another student who is not forming relationships at the academy. If you are not forming relationships at the academy, we don't want to hear your advice. We want to hear you become competent first before you start advising other students. Yes, Paperclip, what's up?
There's somebody in the chat room who wants to join our Skype session.
Okay, who's that? Is that a guest or is that a student?
RQ.
Oh, new student.
He has an avatar.
Yes.
He wants to be a student.
Henrique.
Enrique.
Are you on Skype?
Catch. Enrique. That's a good one. I've never seen that modification of someone's name.
Okay, let's see. Did I add this guy? I don't think I added this guy. PM me your Skype. Actually, I'll just give him the email address. What the hell? Add manhood101@gmail.com to your Skype. SKY contacts. Okay. So we'll get another new student here. Should we flip a coin on this? I really don't want to cover this.
On what?
It's just
I want to cover the gist of it. Did I cover the message? Did I cover the main point of this whole debacle?
Well,
Yeah.
I think you specified further about how I think Rob, you went on further in the post about how Rob was kind of using the plum rule. Rob and Blue were using a plum rule as they were abusing it to basically open their own academy and try teaching boggles.
Right. Okay. So I think we covered that pretty much. So let's skip it. It's unnecessary nonsense. We don't even need to deal with it. We'll close that one off. Okay. So special announcement. 2 special announcements. One is the chat room announcement that we're trying to get new chat room software. I made a thread in the student lounge, so go ahead and read that and go ahead and test out the new software we plan on using for the chat room. Because as you noticed recently, the chat room has been very laggy. It's slowing down the forum, and we want to make sure that everybody can chat instantly whenever they want to other students around the world. So we want to get the best chat software possible. So if you know of anything, or if especially you want to help start researching chat room software, because this is what we're going to be using. So this is what you're going to be using on a daily basis. So make sure it's what you want. I put one suggestion in there. That's the one I looked up and what I heard some good things about, but I don't have any experience using it yet. So test it out. Let me know what you like about it, or if it's a good alternative to what we have right now. And also feel free to do your own research and look around for chat room solutions that we could add to the forum. The other announcement is I already announced it. Hope I got a contact request from Henrique. Let's bring him in. Henrique. Okay, so let me add him to the class. Our next new student, Henrique.
Pick up.
Here he comes.
Oh,
the
shit.
suspense. I'm excited. Oh,
Dude, I can't wait to
here
call
he
him.
is.
Henrique, I was right. It is Henrique.
Henrique,
Dude, I
welcome.
was calling you Henrique before you joined the call, and I thought I was bullshitting, but it turns out that's your actual Skype name.
Turns out he is from Psychic Friends Network, and he does know that his name is Henrique.
Shit.
Henrique, are you there? Henrique, are you shy, or does your microphone not work?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I can hear you. There you go.
He sounds Colombian.
Are you Colombian?
No, I'm Brazilian.
Oh, Brazilian. How's your English? Sounds a little choppy.
We have another Brazilian guy, Spirit. You should talk to him. It'll be good that he finally has a buddy who speaks his language.
Finally has a buddy that also speaks broken English.
Yeah.
Henrique, the other guy on the forum you want to find out or talk to is Spirit. He's also from Brazil and also has broken English. You guys, one of your assignments will be to start learning English because we want to be able to communicate with you.
Oh yeah, don't forget that one guy, the guy who got banned from the academy.
Yes, Leo. After 3 weeks, you'll also meet another student from Brazil. Once he gets
I can
unbanned.
understand what you can say, but I can't speak fluently English.
Yes,
You can understand.
you will learn slowly. Slowly you
I
will
am
learn
so
English.
nervous.
You will pick up English slowly. So just sit back, sit tight, and absorb it. Listen to the tones, listen to the voice inflection, listen to the words. You will absorb it over time.
Oh, okay, but I have a lot of questions. Can I start with it?
Let's see. Wow, question time. Okay, let's go for it. Let's hear it.
I don't know if you heard about a philosopher called Nasahan Alita.
No.
So he thinks that so there are some things that
Okay, Henrique, stop. I'm going to cut you off because your English is not good enough right now for the podcast. It's going to slow us down. So you're going to have to save your questions. You can ask them on the forum. That's no problem. So we have plenty of time to answer them. And also maybe we can get some help from the other Brazilian guys to help translate if you have any grammar problems typing your post out or asking your question on the forum. So save that question and ask it in the student lounge, okay?
Okay.
All right, great. We're going to continue on. Right now we're in the middle of podcasting topics. Next one is, this is like a grab bag, reaching into the grab bag.
Next one is Hibernia's EM Journal.
Hibernia's EM Journal. Did we actually, I thought we covered this one actually.
We covered his reports before, but I don't think we've covered the specific one you're replying to.
I'm tempted to cover it, but I think we've, we're going to skip this because we actually helped him out. He had a lot of problems with just starting out his reports and filling them out properly. He didn't follow the EM guidelines basically, so there was a lot of problems with his report. Actually, you know what? Let's just go through. Let's go down since we know how to fill up an EM report. Fill out an EM report properly. It sounds like we're filling out a government report.
Is Enrique a new student to the academy?
Yes, he just started. Let's go up to. Let's click on the link.
Which post of his specifically are we?
And we're going to go to. There's a. Let's see. From the top, we're on page 2 of his EM journal. It says My EM Journal. It should say at the top. We should be in the expectation management section. And this is Hibernia. We're on page 2. And we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 posts. It starts with me responding to his report. And I'm quoting it. I'm quoting everything, and you see a lot of instances of the word wrong.
Which topic is this again?
This is if you click on the link, if you're in the podcasting topics, it's the first link. Oh, DVP just posted it in Skype chat, so you can look in the Skype chat, click on that link, it'll take you right there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, 7 posts down. It
7 posts down.
It's basically just Plum saying, "Why are you mentioning incentive? Why? Wrong. Why?" Basically.
Yes, I'm responding to his post. So let's just go down and correct
I
this
don't
report.
think Enrique knows where we are.
Don't worry about it. He's from Brazil. He doesn't need to know right now. He's just learning English right now. He's just listening in for the good time. All right. So let's start and let's correct this EM report. Hibernia wrote, Dan. I guess that's his buddy. Hibernia, I'm just going to say a couple of prayers. Wait for me here. Stating expectation with no incentive. What should go in the brackets?
Punishing by scolding.
Punishing by scolding. Why are you even mentioning the incentive? That was my response. Why is he even mentioning the incentive here? What should he be doing? Or why shouldn't he be concerned with stating his expectation with no incentive? Why shouldn't he be concerned with that, Tim Will?
He doesn't know what the other guy's thinking.
No, that's true, but that's not why he shouldn't be mentioning it. Why shouldn't he be mentioning the fact that there's no incentive? Shy Willie.
Because it's an EM report, and he should just be focusing on his own expectations.
Yes. In an EM report, you need to focus on your expectations. You are not concerned with the other person's expectations. What are you concerned with the other person doing, Shy Willie?
If they're meeting your expectations.
Yes, you're concerned with whether they're rewarding or punishing you, whether they're meeting your expectations. That's the only thing you're concerned with. You're not concerned with whether they're giving you enough incentive, whether they're stating a passive expectation, other motives, etc. All you're concerned with is this person meeting my expectation or not meeting it? How do you know if they're meeting it? What do we call that, Shy Willie, if they're meeting it?
Rewarding?
Yes. Are you asking me a question or are you telling me the answer?
Telling you the answer.
Okay, so I want to hear a statement when you're speaking, not rewarding. When you have that question mark at the end of your voice, that is not taking accountability for your answer. So when you tell me the answer, how should it sound?
Rewarding?
Are you asking me a question or making a statement?
Making a statement.
Okay, so make a statement. How should it sound?
They're meeting your needs when they're rewarding.
No, you said the right answer. Technically, it is rewarding, but how should it sound out of your mouth?
Rewarding? Well, there I go into it again.
That's exactly how I don't want it to sound. DVP,
Rewarding.
how should it sound?
Rewarding.
Rewarding. It should be a statement. It should be a fact. Whether it's right or wrong, it's irrelevant. Right now, you need to be definite with your statement. You need to take accountability for your answer, Shy Willie. So how should your answer sound?
Rewarding.
Rewarding, yes. Now that could be wrong. There's a chance you could be wrong. And I would have to correct you. But you're going to have to learn to be accountable for that wrong answer, if it is wrong. So when I ask you for an answer, make a statement. Be accountable. Learn to be held accountable to your answer. That's how you learn to get your expectations met. When you learn to hold other people accountable, you too have to learn how to be accountable for your own answer. If you're willing to hold other people accountable to their answers.
I have a comment to make.
Yes.
When I'm at work and I ask questions, all the girls, all the chicks, they answer my questions with a question mark, whether it's on instant message or if it's in person.
They technically answer it with a question mark, or they use the same voice inflection like Shy Willie used.
Both. If we're on our workplace instant messaging, they always put the question mark because they're not 100% sure.
They don't want to be held accountable for a wrong answer.
Exactly. They don't want to be held accountable. So.
Well, you're guys, so now you're training to be held accountable to your answer.
Exactly. So it's like we've been taught to be chicks our whole entire lives.
Right. So we're going to reattach your penis at the academy. This is also known as Penis Reattachment Academy.
All balls are created equal.
All balls are created equal.
I just saw that banner right now. Did you notice it before?
One of our banners says all balls are created equal. Now you know what that means.
It has Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln, and that actor from The Karate Kid.
Yes, there you go. Okay, so let's keep going. So what should be in that bracket? Or I'm sorry. How do you know if somebody is meeting your expectation? Shy Willie, what do we call that?
Rewarding.
Rewarding, yes. And how do we know if they're not meeting our expectation? What are they doing to us?
Punishing.
Yes, they're punishing us. Okay. Moving on. Dan says...
Hold on, Professor.
Yes.
What do you put in the brackets?
Oh, what should be in the brackets there? I'm sorry. Paperclip, what should be in the brackets there? Dan. Dan says, Hibernia, I'm just going to say a couple of prayers. Wait for me here.
I would say punishing, but I don't know by what? By boredom? By not wanting to do that?
I don't think anything should be there.
Nothing needs to be there.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant. He's just making a statement. We're not concerned with his expectation. We're concerned with meeting our expectation. So nothing really needs to be there. You could say stating an expectation, but it's not necessary. We're not concerned with him meeting his expectations. We're concerned with us meeting our expectations. This is our EM report.
Sounds good.
Okay. Dan, no, just hang on here for a minute. Oh, I'm sorry, I cut out his response. We might have to go to the full EM report. I'm dreading reading this. Okay, let's do it. Hi, Bernie. I scrolled up a couple lines, and you'll see his full EM report. Scroll up a little bit, and you'll see Hi, Bernie. It starts with yesterday. I went into court with a friend named Dan. He was representing himself. We discussed the case a couple of times already. I have experience in this area, so I researched and printed off the relevant case law that he could use, and told him he could call me as a lay advisor during the case. Oh, so we got lawyer Hibernia, attorney Hibernia at law. We meet up for coffee before the case, and out of the blue he said he was pleading guilty. This really annoyed me because we hadn't discussed this, or he hadn't mentioned anything about it beforehand. I then just said something like, well, if that's what you want to do, instead of punishing him for his behavior. No, he means to say punishing him for what? Paperclip?
For not meeting his expectations.
Yes, for violating his expectation. For not meeting his expectation. I'd rather you say violate, because you are basically addressing violations of your expectations. When people are not meeting them, they're violating them. Okay, later as we passed the church on the way to the courthouse, he said he wanted to go in for a minute. I'm not religious, and it was very cold out, and I didn't want to stand out there waiting for him. Also, he has a habit of being late and taking ages to do things. Hibernia, I'm just going to say a couple of prayers. Wait here for me. Hibernia, he says, I'm going to walk down further and cross over into the sun, stating competing expectation. What should
that's
go?
Not necessary.
Yeah,
Just
unnecessary. Just state his expectation, right?
We don't care if there's competing expectations.
We do
only
care if
about
there are
his.
competing expectations, but we care first about our expectation. He hasn't stated his expectation yet. So it is technically competing, but we don't care about it competing because we don't even know what the person who wrote this EM report, we don't know what his expectation is yet.
Okay.
So first we need to know what his expectation is in order for us to realize it's competing with another person's expectation. So Hibernia says, I'm going to walk down further and cross over into the sun. So he's stating his expectation. That's what should be in brackets. Dan says, no, just hang on here for a minute. What should go in the brackets?
Punishing by disagreement and just punishing by disagreement.
Everybody agree? Blue,
I
you
disagree.
agree? You agree with that, Blue?
Yeah.
Paper.
I say punishing with rejection.
Punishing with rejection. Why do you say that?
Because Dan is rejecting Hibernia's.
Yeah, I would accept either. He's saying no, so obviously he's disagreeing. No, just hang in there for a minute. So punishing by disagreement or punishing by rejection. Just hang in there for a minute. He's
Is there
rejecting.
another word we can use for both of those? Because every time we get to something like this, people always disagree, but then you end up saying, oh, I'll accept either of them.
Well, you come up with a better suggestion and we'll use it. How about that?
Okay. All right.
Hibernia, I'm not standing here in the fucking cold. I'm walking down further over into the sun.
Punishing with scolding and restating expectation.
Shy Willie, what do you think?
Punishing by disagreement.
Are you asking me or are you telling me?
Telling you.
Okay, so state it again so you're telling me and not asking me a question.
Punishing by disagreement.
Do you agree with that, Tim Willie?
No.
What should be there? What do you think?
Well, I would say punishing by scolding, definitely, because he's saying, I'm not standing here in the cold. So in a way, he's kind of scolding. And I do agree with the second part, which is resetting expectations.
Okay, is he scolding or isn't he scolding?
Now that I think about it, it sounds more like disagreement than scolding.
Paper.
He's punishing with rejection.
DVP.
It's a toss-up between inappropriate justification or scolding. I don't know which one.
Let's see here. I would go, it's not really irrelevant. The relevant fact is he's disagreeing with him, so I would accept punishing by disagreement, punishing by scolding. He's saying, I'm not standing here in the cold. He's saying that's a bad idea. You're wrong. He's scolding him. Punishing by rejection. I'm not standing here. So
Okay.
either of those would be fine. The emphasis is that you realize you're punishing. That's the important part. The specific, yeah, we care about that, but not as much as realizing that you're punishing him. Okay. Dan, okay, wait down here for me. Wait down there for me. What should be in the brackets?
Rewarding with agreements. With acceptance.
Rewarding with acceptance or rewarding with agreement? Yes, rewarding. Why do we want to make it clear that Dan is rewarding us and not just put meeting expectation?
To determine whether Dan is validating or meeting Hibernia's expectations.
Yes, this lets us know. If we see punishment, we know he's not meeting it. If we see reward, we know he is meeting it. If you just put a vague term like meeting expectation, we're not necessarily clear if it's a punishment or a reward yet. We need to know that first. If we know that, that'll instantly tell us whether our expectation is being met or not. You won't need to say meeting expectation. So let's concentrate on the specifics. Is this a punishment or a reward? Obviously, he's rewarding us with agreement. Okay. At this stage, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we'll skip that. Hibernia, let's go outside for a minute to discuss this. Stating expectation?
Yep.
Okay. Dan, no, I'm going to wait here.
This guy's a stubborn motherfucker, and yeah, that's right, rejecting an expectation.
Or punishing.
Punishing by
Yes. Blue, what should be there?
Punishing by disagreement.
No, I'm not going to wait
Rejection.
here. Punishing by disagreement, you say?
Punishing by rejection.
Punishing by rejection. DVP?
Punishing by rejection.
Shy Willie?
Punishing by rejection.
Okay, I'll take that. Hibernia, what did the officer say? Inappropriately justifying expectation. Correct or incorrect, Shy Willie?
Incorrect.
What should be there?
I don't know.
Okay, let's see. Paper, what should be there?
Stating expectation.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Blue.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I don't know.
DVP?
I'm not sure either because
You know why you're not sure?
of the context. There's no context. He's basically just saying
No, there's a reason. It's somebody's fault why you're not sure.
mine,
Nope.
Hibernia's,
Why is it Hibernia's fault you're not sure?
because it's not specific. I don't understand it.
You're close.
Hmm.
Tim,
I don't know.
why is it Hibernia's fault you're not sure?
He's not being clear.
He's not clear, but why, how, in what way? What do you mean?
Like, okay, first he started off by stating expectation, then Dan rejected it, but in this case, he didn't restate it. He wasn't justifying it. He just kind of
He's being
ignored
very
his own
indirect.
expectations.
He's ignoring it. He's being indirect. Obviously, he doesn't like that Dan violated his expectation, but because he didn't say anything about it, he just mentioned this indirect thing, he's letting you know, here's what I'm really thinking. So it's Hibernia's fault because he's being so indirect with his expectations. That's why when you come across these reports that are really hard to figure out what's going on, you know the reason why it's really hard to figure out what's going on? It's because the guy is so dysfunctional. It's like the guy's using sarcasm, or the guy's being super indirect, or he's saying what he doesn't mean, etc. If you see that in an Ian report, you know instantly something's wrong with this guy, how he's managing his expectations. He's not being direct. If he's not being direct, you're going to have a hard time figuring out what to put in the Ian report. So to figure out what's going on here, we're going to have to look at context. Let's go outside for a minute to discuss this. Obviously, he's stating his expectation. No, I'm going to wait here. He got his expectation rejected. So he got punished. His expectation got violated. So now he says, I'm inappropriately justifying my expectation here. So we can see from the context, he really wants to do what?
He really wants to punish him for, saying, no, I'm going to wait here, for
Yes.
rejecting his expectation.
But because he's indirect, what does he start to do?
Talk about something else. Ignore it.
Yes. What did the police officer say? He might as well say, why is it so, why do you think it's, or don't you think we're gonna freeze out here if we stay out here? He'll start reasoning with him. In this case, he's just talking about something else. He's just sweeping it under the rug. He's sweeping the violation of his authority under the rug. What happens when you sweep violations of your authority under the rug? When people don't meet your expectations, when people fuck you over, when people don't meet your needs, what happens inside of you, Dr. Knight?
It undermines my authority.
Yes, but how do you feel about that?
Frustrated.
Yes, frustrated, resentful. Haven't you had a person, you tell a person don't do this and they keep doing it? They keep violating your authority, keep violating your expectations, and then you're just kind of passive. You don't know how to get them to do it. And then what happens in you? You start resenting that person, right? Start getting frustrated.
Yes.
Think about shooting them in the head, but don't actually announce that, but you actually start, I wish that person would fall off a cliff. I wish that person would get hit by a bus. I hate that person, right? You start having these little passive-aggressive thoughts. That ever happened to you?
Yes, I have a lot of passive aggressive.
Well, there you go. Now you know where school shooters come from. Now you know where serial killers come from. There are people that just all of a sudden one day, those passive-aggressive thoughts that they have eventually turn into aggressive thoughts. They just kind of snap. They activate. It's like, you ever seen the quiet, shy guy who is, you keep picking on him, and all of a sudden he just explodes and just stabs you with a knife? That's all that built-up, pent-up frustration, not knowing how to get your expectations met, not knowing how to get this guy to stop violating your expectations.
That's one thing I've personally been a bit worried about, actually.
Well, that's a potential for anybody here who can't get their expectations met. If you can't get your needs met, it's like you're starving. People have food all around you. All of a sudden, you might just attack that person and say, look, I'm starving so much. I'm in so much suffering, so much pain. I'm just going to take your food by any means necessary. If I have to kill you, I'm going to take your food. So that is a very real possibility for people who can't get their expectations met. They're being deprived of their needs. They become desperate. When you aren't getting your needs met, you become a very desperate person. Okay, so Dan, silence. Then Hibernia says, do you want to...
Professor?
What's that?
What do you put in between the brackets?
In between the brackets of what one? Which one?
Of that sentence we were currently talking about.
What did the police officer say? What goes there, Tim Wilkes?
Ignoring my own expectations.
No. Let's see. What would you put in the brackets there, Jar? Jar's on super lag.
Hello?
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay, let's see. What would you put in the brackets? Boggles, are you there?
Yeah.
Boggles, you on the same report?
Yes.
Okay, what would you put in the brackets there?
Inability to state expectation.
Inability to state expectation. What did the officer say? It's so bad. Yeah, I mean, you might just put... You really don't have to put anything there. He's just not getting his expectation met.
You know what? I think it should be
Abandoned expectation.
passive aggressive.
Implying expectation.
Implying expectation, or just put, I'm being passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Just not getting my expectation met. You really don't have to put anything there. This is just an expectation management fail. He's just not getting his expectation met. And
Being indirect.
it's pretty clear. So whether what we put in the brackets at this point is irrelevant. He just hasn't got his expectation met, so he's just switching gears.
Because you know what? I think it should be passive aggressive, ignoring. Because I think in Hibernia's mind, like he kind of changed the subject, and he thinks it's like punishing the other guy, but he's being passive aggressive with his punishment.
Hold on, we're getting DVP back in here. Yeah, he may think in his mind that he's punishing him. We don't know. We're not going to take a guess, but it's really unnecessary at this point. He just basically hasn't met his expectation.
Did anybody else lose their internet connection after the Skype call went to shit?
Anybody else lose it? No, everybody else stayed on. I think it was just you that lost it.
Oh, okay.
We might have to actually try Google Plus next time. We're going to have to troubleshoot
this is
that.
getting ridiculous.
Everybody keeps dropping off on Skype.
This Google Plus never dropped like this.
Yeah,
No, I mean, this is the first time Skype has dropped, but I mean, like, this time my call dropped and my connection went out at the same time. This has never happened before.
well, we've been having a lot of problems with Skype, so I think at one point we might want to try Google Plus just to see if it's any better and see how it works out.
And
Yeah,
don't forget
my-
that.
So
In
we'll
my experience, it never has dropped like the way Skype has.
Okay, so we'll test it out sometime after the podcast. We're going to go test it out
Yeah.
either today or tomorrow
This
or
is
after the
what we need.
podcast. We'll see how it works and see if we want to switch over to it. Okay, let's see here. Where are we at? What did the police officer say? Okay, so we skipped that. Do you want to take a seat? Indirectly stating expectation. He says, first of all, I decided that because he seemed under stress, not to say anything about his behavior and to wait until later. However, it went further downhill from there. Later on, Hibernia says, do you want to take a seat? Indirectly stating expectation. Here again you have the question mark indicating he's being deceptive with his expectation. We know he wants him to what he wants him to do, but he doesn't know how to get that expectation met. He doesn't know how to just state it directly. So he puts a question mark there, turns it into a question. That's not really what he means.
Well, it looks like, students will be using that quite often, like indirectly stating expectations, so that's probably a bracket that they should put if...
That's fine. Okay, Dan. No, I'll stand here. Rejecting
This
expectations.
guy's just an
That's
asshole.
an asshole.
I know. Like, Hibernia's going out of his way to help him. He's just like, no, I'm going to do it my way.
Dan's an asshole, but Hibernia's so passive, he won't even point this out. Hibernia's putting in all this work to help his friend who's going to court.
And he doesn't have to do that.
He doesn't have to do that. He's not obligated to do that. He's doing it out of goodness of his heart for his friend. And his friend is just basically saying, no, it's my way or the highway. Hibernia should just say, well, great, fuck you, later. But Hibernia...
You're
Maybe Hibernia doesn't have too many friends.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Hibernia is more worried about what Dan will think of him if he enforces his expectation. What he doesn't realize is when you fail to force your expectations, you actually alienate people more. You actually cause people to be more annoyed with you versus if you did say, Dan, this is unacceptable. If you were to say that, you would have a better chance of Dan liking you versus if you just kept being this passive person that Hibernia is resigned to being right now. It is more of a turnoff to people to not care about your expectations and to be passive with your expectations than it is to enforce an expectation, even if you have to punish somebody to enforce it. A lot of you don't realize that, and that's why you're here. But I'm here to tell you that, and I'm here to tell you that also you won't realize this until you practice it. Until you actually tell somebody, look, I expect this. This is not what I expect. You violated my expectation. Here's the punishment for that. Until you're willing to do that, until you actually do that, you won't realize it. You won't realize that maybe in the short term he might be mad at you, but in the long run, he's going to have more affection for you when you enforce your expectation versus you just let it slide, sweep it under the rug, passively let him screw you over as many times as possible, become frustrated, become resentful, etc. No, I'll stand here. So Dan just like, hey, he should just put in the brackets, fuck you. Dan just gave him the middle finger, rejecting. Okay, so then we head out to this conversation. Okay, then we head outside. We had this conversation. Dan, do you want to lift home? Stating expectation. Yes, thanks. Meeting expectation or rewarding.
Why is he offering him a lift?
Yeah, but
After all this shit.
this is such an irrelevant conversation to put into an expectation management post. Do you want to lift home? Yes, thanks.
Well, I don't know. It was relevant to him, so I think maybe it should.
Well, I guess if it's relevant to him, but this doesn't seem like it's. He's stating his expectation. He's meeting his expectation. Why is he? It's not relevant because it's Dan's expectation. It's like he's doing an expectation management report for Dan. It should be whether Hibernia wants to lift home. That's what's relevant, not whether Dan is offering the lift.
Hibernia meeting expectation.
Yeah, here, let me show you how I'm passive and I can meet Dan's expectations.
I thought Hibernia said, "Do you want to lift home?" And I just read it.
Yeah, that's
Yes, this could almost read as Dan's expectation management report, and Hibernia's the other guy.
Hibernia's got it backwards. This is so funny.
Hibernia has to realize that he's the guy that is trying to get his expectations met, not Dan. He should only be saying whether Dan is rewarding or punishing his expectation, not whether Dan is stating an expectation and Hibernia is meeting it.
Yeah, I was so confused because I'm so used to this EM report. You know, I was expecting when I saw, "Do you want to lift home?" and I saw stating expectation.
But you
I
could see.
immediately assumed it was Hibernia.
Yes, you could see from the way he's writing this report. What is the problem? You could tell from the way he's writing this report. What's the problem, DVP?
He values Dan's expectations above his own.
Yes, he cares about meeting Dan's expectations more than he values meeting his own expectations. This is also a major problem. This is a lot of reason. There's a lot of the same reason why you guys are here. You value other people's expectations more than your own. If you go into a room full of strangers, instantly you're like, "Oh, I don't want to offend these people. Oh, I want to make sure that I'm following the social cues for the room. Oh, I want to make sure I'm making everybody happy. Oh, I want to make sure this, that." What about your own expectations? What about the other people making you happy? What about them meeting your social needs? What about them making you feel comfortable? Do you have any expectations? Yes, you have them, but because you don't value them, you're always asking, how can I meet their expectations? You're Mr. Hibernia. How can I meet Dan's expectation? This is your EM report. As much as you're laughing about it, this is a lot of your EM reports right now that you haven't written down. This is the way you view people. When you come to a girl, you're not like, how can this girl make me happy in a relationship? You're always saying, what can I do to impress this girl? What can I do to make sure she likes me? Where are your expectations? Shouldn't she be worried about you liking her? Shouldn't she be worried about meeting your expectations? In your mind, it's a one-way street. So a lot of you may chuckle at this report, but this is your same mentality. Hibernia is just writing it down. So this is what's going on in a lot of students' heads. They're like, how can I meet the other person's expectations? Screw my expectations. My expectations aren't as valuable as the other person's expectations. They should take a backseat.
Maybe Hibernia, and I think a lot of us think this way, that the other person has more to offer in the relationship than we do.
Part of that is, that's true. You don't have the training. You haven't been trained to be valuable. So for instance, you're like a guy who is trying to be an accountant, but you haven't gone to accountant school. So you don't know how to add numbers, you don't know how to work with equations, math equations, etc. So you're useless as an accountant. So in a sense, this is true. But in the other sense, even if you have been trained, like right now you're trained at the academy, you don't value what you have to offer. You don't realize that what you have is valuable. You don't realize as a man, you have a lot of potential. And that is very valuable to a woman in a relationship. Right now, your only thought is, what can I do for her? What can I do so she doesn't dump me? What can I do so she'll like me? What can I do so she'll stick around? You look at it as a one-way street, like she's the only one that's valuable to you. Her vagina is the most valuable thing on the planet, and you have nothing to offer. Guess what? Who created society? Shy Willie? Men. If it wasn't for you, she wouldn't have a roof over her head. She wouldn't have the computer she's typing on. She wouldn't have the phone she's using. She wouldn't have Facebook. She wouldn't have clothes.
Society.
She wouldn't have anything in society. You had an active hand in making all this.
Plum, but when I see a hot chick, I'm looking at, oh, hot chick, she has so much to offer for me. I'm not sitting there I'm not trained enough. Like,
what does she have to offer to you? She's a hot chick.
Yeah, I don't like.
So when you say so much to offer, you really mean she has a vagina.
Yeah, and it's very tangible. It's like I can see it.
You can see her vagina.
Well, like she might have a hot vagina, whatever. But I'm not trained enough to wait. Hold on a second. Men created civilization. Like all those thoughts are like I'm not trained enough to like where I come back to it. I have so much to offer.
Part of the problem is you're not trained, so you don't have value to offer her.
Okay.
You can't get your expectations met. You can't even form relationships with other students at the academy.
Yeah.
So yes, you're right in saying that you don't have anything to offer her. You have very little to offer her. You have a good expression to offer her, which is valuable, but you can't get your expectations met. How are you going to lead a relationship? One of the most valuable things to offer a woman is your leadership in a relationship. And you can't even lead a relationship with other students at the academy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think it's when we become or learn to become responsible. That's when we can say, you know what? Yeah, men did create society.
Yes, right now you are the guy who is benefiting from society. You are not the one who is creating society.
Right, because like in our minds we're like, well, I mean, that's great that men created society, but I didn't do it. Like I didn't.
We're just like girls right now.
You are chicks right now. Practically speaking, you are chicks. You are the
There's
guys
no difference. The
who
girls
are
sitting in class.
You're depending on the girl to stimulate you, to give everything to you. You're expecting her vagina. You're expecting her cooking skills. You're expecting this and that from her. But what are you giving her? Are you able to manage the expectations for the relationship? Are you able to get your needs met? Are you able to meet both your needs? Are you able to plan what you guys are going to do together? Are you able to lead her in the relationship, to figure out what's going to go on in the relationship as far as, who's going to be doing what? Who's going to be cleaning? Who's going to be cooking? Are you able to organize all that? No. You don't have any training. This is why we tell you the first place to train is at Manhood Academy with the other students. Forget about managing a relationship with a girl. Can you manage a relationship with a guy, with a friend, who is even less intimidating than a girl? If you can't do that simple thing, good luck managing a relationship with a girl who isn't going to be as forgiving as the other students here, or as other guys. This is why it's so crucial for you to learn how to manage relationships with your own gender. Boggles, I tell you this all the time.
Yeah.
You're a complete asshole if you're picking fights with students, or if you're not even able to get along with other students. If you have any animosity, or if you don't have a relationship that is not good with one of the other students, you need to address that today. You need to take care of that today. Because that's a deficiency on your part. That's an inability to meet that student's needs. And if you can't meet that student's needs who's a guy, how the fuck are you going to meet a girl's needs, who is going to be much more demanding and much less forgiving?
That's for sure.
You have to be able to manage her reactions.
Yeah.
She's going to throw a tantrum like a little kid. You have to be able to manage that. You have to be able to tell her no. You have to reward her when she's doing what you want. If you can't do that with other students who are much more forgiving of your faults, how are you going to do that with a girl?
Yeah.
So figure out who you fucked up with in your relationships with the academy and start fixing them. Start solving them.
Well, last night I fixed it with Blue a little.
Well, with Blue a little. So it should be to the point where Blue looks forward to talking to you. If you have students at the academy who aren't looking forward,
I don't know.
if you have students at the academy who aren't looking forward to talking to you, that's a problem you need to fix.
Okay, I thought I'll take care of Rob's thing, but then I figured he's leaving anyway, so.
Yeah, just sweep it under the rug anyway. Motherfucker.
What an asshole.
He's going away. If he's going to be
Did you hear what Paperclip said?
What an asshole.
Please repeat what you called Bogler.
An asshole.
Yes, I agree. He's an asshole. He's not fixing the relationship.
More reason to say goodbye to him, to amend the relationship. You don't want to end on a bad note, especially if he's going off to fight.
Especially if he's leaving.
Yeah, he's leaving.
Because I was thinking if he's not going to be contributing at the academy.
Yes, we already know what your excuse is. You should be listening to what DVP just told you. Fuck your excuse. Take care of the relationship. Practice managing the relationship.
Okay.
If every student at this academy is not looking forward to talking to you, that is an indication that you do not know how to manage that relationship. You need to practice managing that relationship. You should check right now. Every student here listening to this podcast, every student in class, you should check and go. Every student at this academy that I know of that's active at the forum, do they or do they not look forward to talking to me? Can I talk to anybody at any point at this academy? If your answer is no, then you know exactly which relationships you have to address. Just having your one or two good buddies at the academy, not good enough. That is not managing your relationships effectively. This is a community. That means every relationship is attached, directly or indirectly. Every relationship here affects, if you have two buddies, just two buddies that you're good friends with, those relationships affect everybody at the academy, even the new students. You have to learn how to manage every single relationship at the academy with every student who is here, who is coming in contact with you in the chat room, in the forum, etc.
Okay.
All right, we covered that one. So let's switch. Let's switch over to the halfway mark. Let's switch over to the EM section. Everybody go to your EM reports. Or not your, sorry, the expression section. Honing your expression. That's the one with the little feather and the quill. The little icon there.
Very cute.
Very cute. Everybody,
very 18th century-ish.
Very 18th century-ish. Everybody go to your own expression posts, and we're going to pick one of your expression posts to read. Hopefully it's your latest one. We're going to start with Shy Willie. Where are we at, Shy Willie?
What was that?
We're going to start with your EM report, or not your EM report, your expression post.
You want me to read mine?
Honing Willie Gilligan's expression.
Should we be looking at Willie Gilligan's?
Yes, everybody click over to Willie Gilligan's.
Alright.
When we switch over to yours, everybody will switch over to your post. So let's all switch over to Willie Gilligan's. Which page are we at, Willie? Page 3?
Willie boy.
Yeah, page 3.
Okay.
Alright, which post? Latest one?
The second to last one.
Second to last, which is, does it start off, I've recently started going to the gym?
Yeah.
Okay, it's down at the bottom of page 3. It's right before my post. Everybody there?
Incredible Hulk.
Everybody there?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes.
let's go.
Do you want me to start reading it?
Well,
Yes.
if we all read it silently, Willie, the podcast is going to be very boring and the classroom is going to fall asleep. So what do you suggest? What should we do, Willie?
What was that?
What should we do?
Start reading it?
Yes, we should start reading. What'll happen if you start reading?
You guys will listen?
No, it's not guaranteed that we'll listen. Some of us might fall asleep. But there's a chance that some of us will wake up. The better you read, the more awake the students will be in the classroom. Do you realize the experience of the other students rests on your shoulders?
Yes.
This relationship with the classroom rests on your shoulders right now. You're responsible for the enjoyment of the classroom.
Okay, I'll start.
Sweet. Hold on. Whoever's typing, stop typing, please. Go ahead.
Okay. I've recently started going to the gym again, and I find that I don't enjoy working out as much as I used to. When I was dedicated to working out, my goal was to add about 15 to 20 pounds of muscle to my lanky frame. I started a structured training program that would help me reach this goal. After every workout, I would feel a sense of satisfaction, knowing that I was making slow but steady progress toward my goal.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm falling asleep already. Okay, let's start over. Let's start at the first sentence. Okay. Sounds like to me you get a sense of satisfaction working out. It sounds like you're talking about the past here where you were satisfied doing something, working out at the gym. But the way you read it, it sounded like you hated going to the gym or you're bored out of your mind going to the gym. The way you read it was very monotone. I didn't enter into anything you talked about. I didn't enter into any of your experience. I've recently started going to the gym again, and I find that I don't enjoy working out as much as I used to. I'm reading that, and my voice is inflecting as I have thoughts about what the sentence means. I've recently started going to the gym, and I find that I don't enjoy working out as much as I used to. I'm letting you know how this sentence affects me. I'm conveying my reaction. I'm being transparent with my reaction. As a result, you're attracted. You're enjoying the reading that I'm giving you. You're enjoying my experience. I want to have that experience from you, Willie. I want to be attracted to you. I want to enjoy listening to you. I want to enjoy listening to you. Read that first sentence.
Okay. I recently started going to the gym again, and I find that I don't enjoy working out as much as I used to.
What does it sound like when you don't enjoy working out? I find that I don't enjoy working out as much as I used to. Let me know that. Let me know what that sounds like. Let me know what your experience sounds like.
Sort of agitated.
Okay, so read it so you're agitated. Let me hear it again.
I recently started going to the gym again, and I find that I don't enjoy working out as much as I used to.
Yeah, you're frustrated. I don't enjoy working out as much as I used to. I need to hear that frustration because that is your experience. I need to hear your reaction. You need to convey your experience through your reaction, your candid reaction. Right now you're worried, if I read this a certain way, everybody's going to think I'm retarded. Everybody's going to think I'm silly. Everybody's going to think I'm this, I'm that. Guess what? We already think that. We already think you're a nerd. We already think you're a failure. You can only go up from here. You're worried about alienating people, but you don't realize your monotone voice is the worst thing to listen to. It's like listening to somebody rake their fingers over a chalkboard. It's annoying. I've recently started going to the gym again, and I find that I don't enjoy working out as much as I used to. When I was dedicated to working out, my goal was to add 15 to 20 pounds of muscle to my lanky frame. Was that enjoyable to you?
No advice.
Yeah, it's like listening to Google Voice. You know, some people, they post videos they made. It says video, Google says, you can make videos with our Google Voice service and blah, 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 right? And they make videos, and it might be super interesting content. They might be talking about Bigfoot or something, but Google Voice puts me to sleep. Bigfoot was discovered in the forest, and here is footage of him. When I hear that voice, everything just blends into like white noise, and I don't care what the content of the actual video is. The expression is so poor because it's Google Voice, I don't care to listen to the rest of it.
You want to listen to a human voice?
Yes, I want to hear some human experience.
A person.
I want to hear Willie Gilligan. I want to hear his frustration. Read that first sentence, Willie. Let me hear it. Let me hear your experience.
I recently started going to the gym again, and I find that I don't enjoy working out as much as I used to.
You sound like the Incredible Hulk. You sound like you're going to break something.
He sounds like Bob Ross.
Let me hear it again like you're going to break something, Willie. Let's hear it. Do it again.
I've recently started going to the gym again, and I find that I don't enjoy working out as much as I used to.
It sounds like you're very peaceful when you're not enjoying your workout. I want to hear you about to break something, like you're going to punch a hole in your wall. Read it that way. Look at the wall. You're going to punch a hole in it. Read it like that. Go ahead.
Okay. I recently started going to the gym again, and I find that I don't enjoy working out as much as I used to.
Yeah. See that? I felt some emotion there. I felt like the Terminator became a real boy. Like, you know, in the Pinocchio, that scene where Pinocchio gets what happens? The fairy godmother, or I forget the whole story. Where Pinocchio's a wooden boy and all of a sudden he turns into a real boy. He gets his wish.
Something about a whale at the end.
A whale, a magician, a unicorn, and a priest.
Some asshole named Geppetto.
Yeah, some asshole named Geppetto, and all of a sudden he becomes a real boy. I felt like this is the scene where Willie Gilligan becomes a real boy. He was a wooden boy before, annoying wooden puppet, and all of a sudden he becomes a real boy.
Yeah, he was lying to us about his experience, and his nose grew bigger.
Yes.
He was hiding his experience behind the voice.
Willie, your nose was growing because you were telling lies, just like
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio. But then you became a real boy. Or conversely, you're like the Terminator, and we're like in that scene where you're like, I know 572 ways to kill a human being. I have detailed files on human anatomy. But then we get to that one scene where I start crying, and then you sound like the sensitive Terminator. Why do your eyes leak? Why do you cry? Why do you cry? You know, your emotion comes through. Let me hear it, Terminator. Read that again. That was pretty good.
Okay.
Do it again, Arnold.
I've recently started going to the gym again, and I find that I don't enjoy working out as much as I used to.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. See? Now I like listening. Okay, now I'm awake. Keep going.
When I was dedicated to working out, my goal was to add about 15 to 20 pounds of muscle to my lanky.
Yeah, you want to get buff. All right, let's hear it. Keep going.
I started a structured training program that would help me reach this goal. After every workout, I would feel a sense of satisfaction, knowing that I was making slow and steady progress.
Okay. Wait. What's the sound of satisfaction? Yummy. I ate a chocolate bar. It was delicious. Let me hear you eat the chocolate bar. Willie.
Okay.
Willie, eat the chocolate bar.
After every workout...
No, let me hear you eat the chocolate bar. Forget about the sentence. Eat the chocolate bar.
Chocolate.
That's bullshit. You're eating air. Paper, let me hear you eat the chocolate bar. That's bullshit. I don't believe it. Boggles, let me hear you eat the chocolate bar. I kind of believe Boggles. There might be a chocolate bar there. Dr. Knight, let me hear you eat the chocolate bar. Eat it, man. Come on.
Doctor, that's some good fucking chocolate.
Oh, look at this guy. Let me hear you eat the chocolate bar, Dr. Knight. Let me hear it.
Delicious.
Okay, I kind of believe that. Let me hear DVP eat the chocolate bar.
So good.
Okay, kind of believe it. Lost it at the end. Let me hear, who haven't I heard eat the chocolate bar yet? Tim Will, let me hear you eat the chocolate bar.
Good.
Fake. Blue, let me hear you eat the chocolate bar.
Chocolatey.
I thought it was a fake at the beginning, and then I fell for it at the end. I fell for the con at the end. Tim, sell me that chocolate bar. Come on. Okay. I'll take that. That was better than the first one. Okay, Tim Willie, let me hear you eat that chocolate bar. No, I'm sorry. Shy Willie, let me hear you eat the chocolate bar.
Chocolate.
Fake. Phony. Eat the chocolate bar. Come on, let me hear it, Tim.
You mean Shy Willie, right?
I mean Shy Willie, sorry. Shy Willie, eat the chocolate bar.
Chocolate.
It was actually
Rat
okay.
poison. Let me hear it. Chocolate. Chocolate. Let's hear it.
Chocolate.
Okay, I believe that more. Now, that's the sense of satisfaction. Read the sentence again. That starts after every workout. Let me hear the satisfaction now.
After every workout, I would feel a sense of satisfaction, knowing that I was making slow but steady progress toward my goal.
Yes, I feel it. I feel like I'm watching Rocky training. I feel that satisfaction after the workout. Keep going.
Although I was dedicated to this goal, I didn't make a diet plan. It was fine in the beginning because all I had to do was have smaller meals throughout the day, in between breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Keep going. Last sentence.
I had to increase my calorie intake more and more as my body started building more muscle and fat.
Okay, I like it. Much better. All right. We're going to stop there. We're going to go to DVP. Pick one of yours.
Right.
Let's go to your thread here. Hold on a second. Honing
The
your...
last post on page 17, at the very bottom.
Okay, Death by Porn. Death by Porn's Metamorphosis.
Did you say page 17?
Yeah, very last post at the bottom.
Last post on page 17. So it's, okay, I found your post. Okay, page 17. Death by Porn. Down at the bottom. Everybody there?
Yep.
Okay, let's hear it.
I want a family. That is the number one dream I have that trumps all others. Forget getting rich. Forget fucking a harem of buxom women. I want one woman to come home to that meets all my needs and does so with a smile filled with feminine warmth. I get the feeling that I'd make a great father. Maybe this is the ego talking, but I have a firm belief that I'd do everything right. Holy fuck, I can't even manage myself, and I'm talking about a family, which takes 1,000 times more responsibility.
Okay, stop right there. Paper, what'd you think?
I like it. I enjoyed his...
You like it. What's wrong with saying you like it?
It lacks...
It lacks what?
It lacks my voice inflection,
Not just that. What is wrong with just saying I like it?
It's too general.
It's too general. It's not specific enough. It doesn't talk about your degree of a reaction, what you specifically reacted to. It's just like saying good, bad.
Okay.
Very general. You, of all people, need to practice giving your specific reaction. If you enjoyed something in particular, there were certain things that made you like it, weren't there? Certain things he said, or certain phrases, or the way he read it, or something. There was something particular that struck you. That is what you need to convey. The specific degree of your experience, your reaction.
Can I try again?
Yes, I wish you would.
Okay. I like the first sentence when he talks about how having a family is the one dream that trumps above all others. And that's just because I'm in the same boat.
Okay, you know, two things happen. Now that you gave your specific degree of reaction, I was attracted to you. I like you now because you've stimulated me. But guess what? You've also stimulated DVP. Now he has something to respond to. You've generated a conversation because you've taken it on yourself to get specific with your reaction and to stimulate him. Now you've led him in the conversation. Boggles.
He makes me want to call the French Indian girl and start a family with her.
So he's provoked romantic feelings in you.
Yeah.
Sweet.
No abortions, Boggles.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too.
Don't bring up any abortion topics. Blue.
Well, I liked how he read it. He writes exactly like how he talks.
Okay.
So, it's very congruent.
Right. Tim.
I like the last sentence when he's making a realization that, holy shit, I can't even manage my own self.
Yeah.
And he's talking about, like, having a family when he just realized that he can't even manage his own self.
Right. So you're like, oh, I could relate to that, or I'm struck by that, or that's an interesting thought.
That kind of got me there because, you know, as he was writing, he just made, like, an eye-opening realization.
Yes. See, that is the because part is what I'm interested in. Because this reason, because this. Now we see your thought process. When you just say, I like this sentence, or I like this, that doesn't tell us anything about you. But when you give us the because part, that expresses you. That lets us know what Tim is like. You realize that? Tim?
Kind of, yeah.
Kinda, you're getting there. Okay. Let's hear from, who haven't we heard from? Oh, Shy Willie. What'd you think?
I like his voice inflection when he said, maybe this is the ego talking. And he said, but I have a firm belief that I do everything right. He said like that more confidently.
Yeah, he said that's the part I like too. It's kind of funny to me. I get that feeling I'd make a great father. Maybe this is the ego talking. Just like it reminded me almost like a romantic comedy where there's like a little corny line every now and then. Reminded me of that. Dr. Knight, what'd you think?
Well, I found his inflection more compelling than the prior paragraphs, but mainly because I can empathize with, that scenario and
Okay.
what he's desiring.
Okay. So you like the voice inflection and you related to what he was saying.
Yes.
Okay. What I forgot to do is we forgot to give comments on Shy Willie's reading or Shy Willie's paragraph. What did you guys think about Shy Willie's paragraph that we read previously?
Well, honestly,
sorry, we'll go around. DBP, go ahead.
okay. When he first started reading, I just wasn't looking forward to finishing it. It was just so tedious. I mean, the post itself, when I read it previously, earlier that day, I liked it. It was very good. But when we got to the podcast and you made him read it, it became so annoying. I don't like it anymore.
Right. Why don't you like it? That's very general. That's too vague.
Because it's caused me it's been so much work now. It's caused me so much hassle. Having to listen to you tell him what to do, having to listen to him constantly try.
So the process of going through it was just tedious and boring. It was like repetition.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's what training is. It's repetition. But that's the boring part. That's just like doing your ABCs or your math assignment, your math homework. That's the repetition part. Practicing speaking. A lot of these things are not the most exciting things in the world, but the finished product is exciting. It is exciting. When you're able to hold a conversation with somebody and they're enjoying talking to you, that is exciting. That is rewarding. Blue.
Am I commenting on Willie or Death by Porn?
You're commenting on Shy Willie's post, the previous one we read.
You know what? I probably would have liked it if I remembered it. Shy Willie, the way he read it wasn't very memorable.
Yes, I agree.
If he had voice inflection, he would have made himself stand out. But the way he talks is it's like everybody else talks in this world. And it's very mundane, it's very boring, and by the time you get home, you don't remember anything. You just want to go on your computer and jerk off.
I thought besides the jerking off part, I thought, yes, you hit the nail on the head, but what struck me is the parts where he came out of his shell and he read it very expressively, those parts actually stood out to me because he was so mechanical. It was such a contrast to finally hear a person reading it that it kind of struck me as very strongly. Boggles.
Everything is pretty boring. The way he reads it, I don't like it. It's like frustrating, like DBP so many times. He has to take forever to, but I guess he's shy. Also, the post itself, I'm reading is so much information. There's like hardly any reaction. Oh, I went to the gym. I don't like it. There's like he can go much more into the degree of his reaction. Oh, I'm making gains in muscle. I think of every other guy in college doing that, and it's boring.
Okay, so just a lot of information given, a lot of static information, not a lot of his personal reaction.
I don't care if he's increasing 20 pounds.
You don't care if he's increasing 20 pounds or not. It's because how does it relate to you? He hasn't related it to you. He hasn't brought you into the experience.
Yeah.
Okay. Paper.
I wanted more detail from his entry because he talked about wanting to get bigger, 15 to 20 pounds bigger, but he didn't specify what parts of his body he wants to make bigger. For example, does he want to make his legs bigger, his arms bigger, or his chest?
Right.
So when I read that sentence, it left me left me with the work to assume what I expect him to want to get bigger.
Too much guesswork.
Or why he wants to get
or
bigger.
why he wants to get bigger. Okay. The why reason.
That's more interesting to me than saying I want to become 20 pounds bigger.
Yes, the reasons behind it, his thought process, entering into his experience, that would have been more interesting than just actually the fact that he wanted to gain those 20 pounds of muscle. Tim Willie.
Tell you the truth, I forgot most of it.
Not memorable.
Right. I mean, I had a hard time relating to wanting to gain weight. The way he talked about it, it was just kind of forgettable.
A lot of static information and not a lot of personal experience that drew you in.
Right.
Okay. That's why it's so crucial. Did you hear that criticism, Willie? A lot of it was just, you didn't bring people into your personal reaction. You there, Will?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, DVP. Okay, we covered yours. Let's go on to. Oh, did everybody comment on DVPs yet?
Yeah, paragraph.
Yes.
Expression post.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did everybody comment on it? Okay, so let's go. Let's go to Boggles.
Alright.
Whoa, we're getting some. Whoa.
That
So,
was fun to hear.
hold on. Peace.
Who was that?
It was Tim.
Say, Willie.
He got cut again. He got cut from the team. Okay, I'm gonna call him back. We're gonna give him one more chance. If his connection is bad, we're gonna have to let him go.
Forgive me.
Tim,
Yo.
it's your second chance.
What?
Yeah, your connection kills us. Your connection's podcast death.
Really?
Okay, we're giving you a second chance though. You're back again. We don't hear the humming sound, and I'm not hearing the echo of my voice anymore, which is good. Okay, we're going on to Bogler's expression post. Which page, Boggles?
Number 40.
Number 40, page 40. Oh, you got a lot of pages here. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of replies.
lot of posts. Okay, you got a lot of experience expressing yourself. This is good.
Yeah, it's lots of replies. People keep replying.
Okay, so you're starting a lot of relationships. That's also good.
So,
holy fuck, 27 posts from Boggles.
Okay, Boggles, where we at?
Right about sweet ass. Concrete says sweet ass.
Right above sweet ass.
Right above that, I went golfing yesterday with Plum, and I liked it.
Okay, wait a second. Hold on, let me find it. Right above sweet ass. So that's kind of halfway in the middle almost.
No, in the end of the page. Yeah, sorry, in the middle. Yeah, you're right.
Page 40.
Page 40, and it's about 4 posts down from the top. No,
Yeah, that's my last expression.
six posts down from the top.
Yeah.
Right in the middle there. Everybody there?
Yep.
Okay, I went golfing. Go ahead.
I went golfing yesterday with Plum, and I liked it. I enjoyed being outdoors and learning a new skill. I'm glad I had the professor around who knew the basics of golf to help me out. It's about maintaining form and the swing in golf. Maintaining form in golf reminded me of maintaining form in life. It needs constant work. As I set out on this new venture to play golf with Plum, I imagined us eventually golfing at nice, posh golf courses by the ocean and socializing with rich golfers one day. However, to start off, we had to go to a golf shooting range where Plum had to constantly correct me until I started to get a hang of it. I thought to myself, the path to playing at country clubs is quite a long shot. I need to focus on making proper contact with the ball first. I was like a kid dreaming up these elaborate scenarios, but then quickly disappointed when I couldn't even hit the ball properly and was brought to reality immediately.
DDP.
I like this a lot because it's just... It's mainly because of the way he speaks. I love hearing Bogler read his expression posts. These are like, when we're doing this expression critique and we get to Bogler, my heart skips. It's like, sweet, Bogler gets to this.
Okay.
And,
right? Keep going.
My only criticism of this is he repeats the word golf so many times, like, maintain form in golf, play golf, do this with golf, rich golfers, golf courses, golf shooting range. It's just like, he uses the word so many times, I think he could have just structured it better.
Right.
Because if I was reading this, just reading it without hearing Bogler speak, I wouldn't like it, chances.
Right. It's a little simplistic, a little childish, repeating themes too much.
Yeah, I agree. I repeat a lot.
I have the opposite criticism of you. I didn't like the way Bogler read it. I like you, I look forward to hearing Bogler speak. You know, his accent before was, I remember when he first came to the academy, he said, oh, people are going to hate my accent. My accent's a hindrance. But now it's like charming. It's quaint. You look forward to hearing Bogler. And I admit I do look forward to hearing his voice, his unique accent. It's attractive to me now because Bogler has learned how to express himself. So his accent has become a help rather than a hindrance. But I know what Bogler is capable of. I know he's capable of reading it in an even more dramatic voice, and that's what I look forward to, his actual experience. Like, this is not the way Bogler experienced it. Bogler is reading it in what would be characterized as a mechanical voice for Bogler. So I didn't enjoy the reading at all. I thought it was to me it was the equivalent of hearing Tim Willie read, or not Willie, Shy Willie read.
Maybe that's why I enjoyed it so much, because after the whole pummeling the Shy Willie, just to hear Boggles, it was like a breath of fresh air.
But I know that Boggles is capable of such a better reading than he gave us. That's why I was more critical of it. I heard it through an ear of, I've heard Boggles before express himself when he's reading, and it sounds much better than what he just read. To me, it sounded very mechanical. So yes, I understand what you're saying. I enjoy hearing Boggles' accent when he reads, and I enjoy hearing his inflection because he's very good at bringing you into his experience when he's reading. But this just wasn't it.
Okay.
At least from me, to what I heard. And also, I enjoyed reading about it because I had firsthand knowledge of this experience so I can relate to it really well. But also I think you did a really good job of, even if you weren't there, I think you did a really good job of drawing you into the experience. Tim Will.
Even though I'm not into golf, I like the way he equated learning golf to maintain, like when he said maintain form in golf reminded me of maintain form in life. Actually, it reminded me of doing like learning new things.
Learning new things, okay. Here's the thing. If a person is socially competent, they can take something that is not relatable to you. Let's say a person is in race car driving or horseback riding, and you've never had experience with any of these things. If they're socially competent, they will be able to relate that material to you and bring you into their experience just through their reactions of what they're doing. You don't have to necessarily relate to, know what it's like to drive a car, but if they can paint that picture for you and share with you all their reactions to what's going on as they're riding the horse or as they're driving the car, you could still appreciate that experience. That is a socially competent person. They can bring you into that experience because they're talking about themselves in relation to the experience, not just the experience itself. They're not just saying the tires screeched around the curve, the car was red, the stops, the pit crew came out to change the tires. They're not just giving you dead static facts, which are not relatable to your experience, but they're talking about their personal reaction in the experience. So that's what draws you in and attracts you. The person, not the event. The event is a novelty item. Some people can relate to it. Some people have ridden horses before. They can relate to it. Go, oh, I like that. It's talking about something I relate to. But if you're a person who has never ridden horses, even more so, it's going to depend on their personal experience being relayed to you, their personal reactions to what happened while they're riding the horse. That's what's going to attract you in anything. Blue.
Well, I like this paragraph because, well, for one, I have personal experience with golf, so I already picture Boggles swinging the golf club and completely missing the golf ball. But
You'd be shocked. This guy was so terrible in the beginning, and then all of a sudden we did one or two things, and all of a sudden he's hitting 5 or 6 in a row, just sweet straight shots, 130 yards, 170 yards. It was sick.
That's awesome. But it's very relatable the way he wrote it. It definitely brought me into his experience, and I wrote about this as a comment. I like this sentence. This was my favorite sentence. I imagined us eventually golfing at nice posh golf courses by the ocean and socializing with rich golfers one day. So that already put a specific image in my head, so it allowed me to, experience what he thought of it.
Right. I like how he's sharing his kind of daydream mentality.
Right. And I like that. My favorite words for some reason were posh. My favorite was posh because he never uses it. So posh, I'm thinking itsy and, rich golfers. Right. So it already I know what Boggles thinks of golf.
Okay. You're getting the imagery through, so you're getting his experience. Shy Willie.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you. It did sound like he did put some emphasis on some words, but it did sound sort of mechanical.
Okay.
I guess I could relate to it because I'm the same way.
Right, overall mechanical. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, Dr. Knight.
Well, I thought he had some inflection there. I just don't know if it was really related to the paragraph as much as just reading the paragraph.
Right.
Though I do think that the sentence that mentioned what he was imagining helped draw me into it. But I think it could be structured better as well.
Right. Okay. Paper.
I enjoyed Bogler's descriptive writing in this paragraph. I second what Blue said about the imagery given in one of the sentences where he talks about what he imagines when he goes to the shooting range, or excuse me, how he imagines a golf course with the ocean and socializing with rich golfers. He really painted a very detailed and colorful picture in my head.
Yeah, so you got a vivid picture of it.
That.
A really vivid picture of it. I like it. I agree. Okay. Let's go. Yes.
I think I know why it came off as mechanical, me reading it, because I was kind of self-conscious while reading it because you were with me, and I wrote about it, and for some reason reading that made me self-conscious.
Really? Well, that pissed me off when you read it that way. It made me not attracted to you. Now I never want to hang out with you again. Maybe you can make it up by reading this next paragraph in a true Indian fashion. Can you do it? Because I want to skip to the next person, but I want to hear you. I want to hear a demonstration of actual Boggles reading. Let's hear it.
All right, I'll try, even though you know this experience.
Yeah, don't try, just do it.
Playing golf on the grass made me think of other sports where I could be on grass, and I thought I should try soccer sometime. I had to hit up meetup.com or Craigslist and check out some soccer meetups. Perhaps Paper or DKO might like to play as well. One idea gave me another idea. I like that my brain works that way sometimes. It gives me momentary joy. It's the implementation of the idea where my mind lets me down a little. It's not as quick as when it comes up with new ideas.
Yeah, I noticed another reason why you're having trouble reading is your grammar is terrible.
Yeah.
So work on your grammar. Read your fucking sentences over again.
Okay. Yeah, I hated reading it. I'm like, ouch.
You have the same problem as Big L. You write sentences and you just put a comma instead of putting a period, and you make another 3 or 4 run-on sentences.
Gotcha.
All right, let's go to honing expression. Let's go to who's next up. Paper. Hit it.
Yo.
Oh shit, Paper.
Yo, Paper.
Which post, dude?
What page?
Man.
You're
Okay,
down. You're down at the bottom a little bit. Okay, I see where you're at.
Yeah. Page 30.
Page 30. Okay, paper clips candid expression training. All right.
I'm looking for the summary I remade.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's on page 30 and it's on the second to the bottom post.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Second to the bottom.
Page
Okay.
30, second post.
Second from the bottom.
Second from the bottom.
Second from the bottom. Oh, really? No, it's second from the top.
Second
it
from the
is.
top.
Yeah. What does it mean when you say second from the bottom?
Second from the bottom, go to the bottom.
Next
of
to
the page.
last.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm second to the top.
You must be viewing. Is yours set up to view a different way? It starts off. I read 2 chapters, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
excuse me. I'm on page 31.
Yeah. Go to page 30.
Page 31, second from the top.
Okay, page 31, second from the top. It starts off with summary number 1, done again.
Done again.
Okay,
Wait,
The
hold on.
book is
Okay.
page 31, second from the top.
the book I started reading is. Are you guys ready?
Ready? Go for it.
Cool. The book I started reading is called One Day at Horrorland. The book is one of many from a series of scary stories called Goosebumps, written for kids in the 1990s.
Yeah.
The author of the scary stories was very popular at the time, and he wrote my favorite books during my childhood.
Okay, read another one.
There were about 50 books in the series, and I would try to collect them all. I must own around 39 of the 50 books published, even though I have only read about 90% of them. I was fascinated by the colorful and sweet illustrations on the book covers. Sometimes I would buy the book because of its pretty cover and never read it. I would collect a lot of stuff when I was younger, before I realized that nothing's leaving the earth with me when I die.
Okay. Wait, you said sometimes I would buy the book because of its pretty cover and never read it.
Yes.
Why?
Okay. No, I thought that was pretty funny. Okay, so let's hear from Paper. Not Paper. Sorry, DBP.
Well, can I ask why you did that?
I stated why in the next sentence. I said I would collect a lot of stuff when I was younger. That's why I would buy books.
Well, I mean, I could relate to Goosebumps a lot because I read a few books, but that's not why I liked it. I liked it because how you talked about collecting things, and I thought it was, like Plum, I thought it was pretty funny when you talked about how you just bought books because of the cover. I've never heard of that before. And also the way you wrote it was good. I liked your voice inflection, especially when you said sweet. It felt like a caps lock statement, like everything was in caps.
Thank you.
Let's see, Boggles.
I generally don't like it when Paperclip reads anything. His voice is not very. It's kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of just monotone.
Yeah. I picture him like a Torero Jr.
Okay.
And
I would agree with that criticism. Go ahead.
Do you say agree?
Yeah, I agree with that criticism.
Yeah. Okay. And I hate when he writes so much information. Oh, there are 50 books. I will collect all of them.
Right.
The only part I think I kind of woke up when he said, when I used to collect a lot of stuff when I was younger before I realized nothing is leaving the earth with me when I die. But when he said when I die, that's when I woke up like, oh, he's trying to relate it to something about life.
Okay, but what? I don't know. Let me preface this before we go on with criticism. One thing you might find different, though, about this is I gave him a specific assignment to improve his grammar, so that's why he's reading these basic books. So these aren't going to be strictly expression post related. These are more going to be working on his grammar. So maybe next time, Paper, you want to work on an expression post, you should actually pick one that is expressing your experiences versus just taking care of the grammar assignment, because this is more a grammar assignment related post versus an expression post.
Okay, so from now on, when I write a summary, I'm not supposed to convey my own personal reaction.
Well, you can, but the emphasis is you can, and it might actually help if you can inject your own personal reaction into it. But you're more trying to work on your grammar and structure, sentence structure, versus give a personal reaction to it. I appreciate you putting your personal reaction to it, but the emphasis is more on your grammar. So when you pick a post next time, Let's work more on a personal reaction.
Okay.
Or if you are going to use a summary, make sure you include your personal reactions in it.
Hold on a second. So I'm allowed to.
You can put your
Write
personal
my
reactions
personal
into it, and you did. You put a lot of your personal reaction into this post. But this is more an emphasis. The reason why you have this assignment, you're reading books, is to improve your grammar, not for your personal reaction.
Okay. I would think that by conveying my personal reaction, I'm also working on my
You
grammar.
are. You're trying to kill two birds with one stone. You're working on your reaction to the stories you read, but the emphasis is on improving your grammar, not on giving your personal reaction.
Okay.
That is the focus of your reading assignments, why you're giving summaries. That's why I'm telling you to give book summaries. That's the point. Your summaries are focused on improving your grammar, not on giving your personal reaction. So that's why I'm giving this a pass. But when you're picking a post for expression posts, I want you to pick something that conveys your personal reaction, regardless of whether it's a summary or just a topic about your life.
So my summaries are supposed to be boring when people read it.
They're not supposed to be boring, but they're supposed to cover the point of the assignment. If it happens to be boring, then it happens to be boring. The emphasis is on your grammar, not on making the assignment as memorable as possible.
Okay.
Tim? Blue?
Well,
wait, hold on. Blue, Tim's back.
Hey, had on mute for a second. There's a lot of, there's a lot of information on it. What woke me up is when he talked about the sweet illustrations.
So he woke you up when he said sweet.
Yeah.
I agree. Voice inflection was important in this because it was a lot of dry information, not very interesting. Sweet woke me up, and also the phrase, something about collecting them all reminded me of Pokemon. There are about 50 books in the series, and I would try to collect them all, so I imagine him collecting Pokemon cards. Blue?
Well, I appreciate the voice inflection. However, I think Paperclip reads in a cadence, like he's like singing a song and there's like a melody, but it's like the melody is maintained throughout the whole.
It's like
reading.
sing-songy, and it just puts you to sleep because it's monotonous. It's the same
Right,
kind of
so
back and forth.
So although there's inflection in his voice, the inflection is like maintained.
I like to do this, but I am Paperclip. He goes up and then he comes down.
It's like
he goes up, he comes down.
iambic pentameter, like when you're reading Shakespeare or something.
It's like a marching tune almost.
Right.
So the inflection is lost because the inflection only goes up and goes down in the same kind of rhythmic fashion. Versus inflecting, the point of inflecting is to be transparent with your reaction to what you're reading or what you're going through. Not just to inflect just for the sake of inflecting.
Exactly.
Okay. Thanks, Blue.
One thing I would like to add is his sentence structure makes it very confusing for me to
Yes, that's why he's working on these summaries. His grammar is terrible. That's why he's working on these sentences right now to make him clearer, so that you're not distracted by the grammar and you can enter into his experience. Same thing with Big L. His grammar's terrible, so it's very difficult to enter into his experience when he has practical issues like you don't want to read it because it's grating to read. It's very hard to get into his experience. Dr. Knight.
Well, I agree with that. I think the only time the inflection really drew me in was with the sweet. And, when I die.
So everybody agrees. Sweet was the proper place to inflect.
When I die.
DVP, we covered yours. Did we cover, we covered Shy Willie's? We
didn't cover Blue and Tim Willie.
Blue. Okay, let's hit Tim Willie. And then we're gonna put all the pressure on Blue.
Save the best for last.
Best for last. Let's see. Or maybe Tim Willie's will be so amazing that it'll put so much pressure on Blue to perform.
I actually like Blue's expression posts. They're very fun to read, but he never makes them anymore.
I know.
It's so disappointing.
TKO has 1,000 responses here. Okay, let's see.
How do you post in your expression post, or in your expression thread if you're on podcast?
Wait, what?
What?
No, I see that Bogner posted on his expression thread during a podcast.
What the fuck, Bogner? What are you doing?
It must have been somebody's boring expression post, so I just started writing mine.
Motherfucker. How about you pay attention in class?
Alright.
Yeah, alright. Fucking guy.
No, I will. It was just a sentence.
I don't care if it's a sentence or a word. You shouldn't be fucking posting on your thread during class. You want to post, leave class. Okay.
Got it.
Let's go to Tim. Tim Will. Which page are we going? Tim Will.
Page
Tim Willie's
7. Page 7. Post.
Tim Willie's expression of insanity. Page 7. Last post. Last post, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
A few days ago, I got my wisdom teeth pulled. At the end of the procedure, the dentist gave me 2 prescriptions. One was a penicillin. When I saw the other prescription, my eyes immediately bugged out as if they were going to pop out. It was a Vicodin. Vicodin is a powerful painkiller and also an opiate. Long time ago, I used to take Vicodin to get high. After taking 2, I started to feel a little lightheaded. A fuzzy feeling slowly took over my body, and my brain starts feeling heavier and heavier, as if it was being filled with rocks. Then I'm transported into another world for the next 2 hours. The world is 30,000 feet in the air, and I'm laying on a fluffy cloud. I'm then sinking in the cloud, and it engulfs me like a blanket. Whatever I was thinking has left my brain.
Okay, this is a really good post. I personally, I liked it. I felt like you did a really good job of bringing me into this experience, this drug experience, but your reading of it is terrible. Okay, let's go over this second paragraph, or this third paragraph, which is the interesting one to me. Vicodin is a powerful painkiller and also an opiate. A long time ago. I'm sorry, what?
I thought that sentence made me cringe. It was like listening to an advertisement. Vicodin is a powerful painkiller and also an opiate.
Okay, so, well, he's giving you background. Okay. A long time ago, I used to take Vicodin to get high. After taking 2, I start to feel a little lightheaded. A fuzzy feeling slowly takes over my body, and my brain starts feeling heavier and heavier, as if it's being filled with rocks. Then I'm transported into another world for the next 2 hours. This world is 30,000 feet in the air, and I'm laying on a fluffy cloud. I'm then sinking in the cloud, and it engulfs me like a blanket. Whatever I was thinking has left my brain. That's the way I hear it. I hear it as this kind of like soothing, dreamy, kind of numbing experience, like you're been in the dentist chair and you're getting Novocaine. But when you read it, it sounds like you're reading a medical manual. I don't enter into the feeling of this. I don't enter into your experience.
There's one comment I want to make.
Hold on. We're going to try it one more time. Tim Willie, hit it. You're in Vicodin land. Read it.
Read it over again?
Third paragraph.
Vicodin is a powerful painkiller and also an opiate. A long time ago, I used to take Vicodin to get high. After taking 2.
Whoa. You're dropping facts like, a long time ago I buried a hooker in my basement. This is a startling fact. It has to be treated as such. You're reading this like it's dead static information. This is your experience. A long time ago, I used to take Vicodin to get high. I want to hear you go back a long, long time ago. You're Grandpa Willie telling a story from your past. Let's hear it.
All right. A long time ago, I used to take Vicodin to
Yes,
get high.
a long time ago. I used to take Vicodin to get high. Now I hear it's back in the day you're reminiscing. Or you're thinking about a nightmare from the past. I want to hear that reaction to this experience so that I can get into it. Otherwise, I fall asleep. I ignore it. Keep going.
After taking 2, I start to feel a little lightheaded. A fuzzy feeling.
I see here. I like that. Look at that. I like that. A little lightheaded, like just a hint. Not like you're totally gone, but just a touch. That inflection tells me it's not totally gone, just a little bit. Like you're getting that little sensation, a little buzz from the alcohol, a little touch of the Novocaine. I get that sense from the way you read it. Keep going.
A fuzzy feeling slowly takes over my body, and my brain starts feeling heavier and heavier, as if it was being filled with rocks. Then I'm transported into another world for the next 2 hours. This world is 30,000 feet in the air, and I'm laying on a fluffy cloud.
This world is 30,000 feet in the air, yes, and then I'm laying on a fluffy cloud.
High right now.
Yes, I want to hear that you're high when you're reading this. Go ahead, keep going.
I'm then sinking in a cloud, and it engulfs me like a blanket. Whatever I was thinking has left my brain.
I was sinking in the cloud, and it engulfs me like a blanket. I like that. Okay, paper.
I'm thinking about what to say.
Blue.
Alright, it was a lovely paragraph, and I like how
What?
Timothy. It was a lovely paragraph, but I like how he sounds. He sounds very similar to Mike Tyson. So like when he reads, I feel like Mike Tyson
I
reads.
feel like Mike Tyson's reading.
Yeah, but
I will kill and destroyify my opponent.
That's ludicrous.
That's ludicrous. Okay, I get that Mike Tyson vibe a little bit. Okay, what
It
else?
was very expressive, but the last word in this paragraph really bothered me for some reason. I don't like that you said whatever I was thinking has left my brain. It would have sounded better if you would have said whatever I was thinking has left my mind. Because when I think of brain, I think of like the literal brain.
Okay, I didn't think that, but I understand. That's your personal experience. Okay, that's fine.
But yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Other than that, good job.
Other than that, good job, Mike.
Good job.
Boggles.
I like Tim's post. I like the way he reads. Like I don't know, when black guys read, I like it. I like that inflection.
You like black culture? Okay.
Yeah, it's not. I don't come up with it very often, so it's like it's nice. It sticks out. And the reading part. the way they pronounce it. And I love how he described his dream scenario or something where he's taking Vicodins, he's floating up in the sky. Very, very nice. And the way he read it and the way he wrote it, the whole experience, I was able to imagine that. And I actually, once when I had neck pain, I took Vicodin. I didn't have his experience, so I was like, wow.
Now you want to have his experience after you read it.
Not really.
Okay. Paper, you ready yet?
Yes, sir.
Let's hear it.
I enjoyed his analogy of how he feels under the power of Vicodin. The fact that he said that he goes into a world that's 30 feet into the air and then chilling on a fluffy cloud makes you want to join him and kick it with him on that fluffy cloud.
Kick it in Vicodin land.
Yeah.
Okay. Shy Willie.
He sold me the drug.
He's a good dealer. That's a good dealing advertisement. You should put that on the street corner if you need a drug dealer. Tim Willie's your man. Okay, Shy Willie.
He's got the hookups.
Shy Willie. What's up?
I thought the second, like the first time he read it did sound mechanical.
Yes.
But the second time, I liked the way he inflected his voice on certain words. Like when he said he started to feel a little lightheaded.
Yes. A little lightheaded.
And that's it.
Okay, sweet. I agree. Dr. Knight.
Well, I agree with, a little lightheaded and also feeling heavier and heavier. But I thought the delivery was a little bit halting there.
Halting, meaning?
Meaning that he would pause there in the middle of what he was saying to continue the paragraph.
So, unnecessary pauses.
Yes.
Okay, I like the whole thing. Reading it, it just struck me like the way he described it painted a very vivid picture of his experience. So I was able to just kind of get lost in it, like I was reading a story almost that I enjoyed reading. The way he read it was terrible the first time, but the second time was much better. And there was a lot of his it felt like a lot of his personal experience, like he was getting high. I felt like he was almost high when he was reading it. So it was very interesting to me. I really enjoyed it. Let's go to the last person. Cleanup batter. Blue.
Yeah. All right.
Blue is going to end the podcast. It is all on his shoulders. Whether he survives or fails, we will find out now.
Doom.
Okay, we got to go to page 2 of the expression thread because I don't even see his post here.
All right. So if everybody's on the main page, it's on page 2.
Yeah, you got to go through the main page first, and then go to page 2 of that, and then you'll see way down. Expressing myself, blue.
Wow.
All right. So you have to go on page 16.
300.
Page 16.
And it is
Nice avatar, by the way.
2, 3,
Very
4,
sweet.
5. Thank you. Thanks.
I'm convinced that I have borderline mental illness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm convinced that I have a borderline. That's it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. I'm convinced that I have a borderline mental illness. Okay?
Is everybody there?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's
there.
hit it.
I'm convinced that I have a borderline mental illness. Level 1. I talk to myself. I laugh to myself. I even pace back and forth while I'm talking and laughing to myself like a crazed lunatic. I'm probably a few paces away of sporting a straitjacket and a face muzzle while thrusting myself against white padded walls. Level 2. I have this thing about me that isn't right. I don't know whether to call it an idiosyncrasy, a glitch, a disorder, or what, but it's been going on since as long as I can remember. I've never talked about this to anyone, not even my own family. It's embarrassing because it's peculiar. It's private, and yet it's so part of my personality that I dismiss it without ever giving it a second thought. The way I cope with stress, distress, or any other S has been through a bizarre physical ritual. It's kind of like how a child uses its body to throw temper tantrums. I don't know if I can describe what I do accurately, but if you saw me, you'd be like, what the fuck? This is how it happens. It starts with a thought. If it's unpleasant or if it gets under my skin, I'll gnash my teeth and tense my arms along with my hands and fingers. Either my hands are clenched in a fist or they're stiffly extended like a mummy stretching out for something. I do this when I'm in some kind of stress. But sometimes when I'm running a movie-like fantasy in my head, I'll do the same thing. I could be thinking about winning the spelling bee, and at that moment of pretend triumph, I'll clench myself as if the stiffening of my body and jaw will somehow manifest my success into physical reality. It's utterly fucking insane. I've been caught doing this a few times. I remember one of my friends saw me during one of my episodes. I was mortified. He said, "What are you doing?" My answer has been the same for years. I'm just stretching out. It was a lie. Now you know the truth. I hope there isn't a level 3.
Okay. Dr. Shivago. Are you there, Dr. Shivago? Dr.
Are you
Knight.
talking to me?
Yes, Dr. Knight.
I thought that was pretty good.
So it was so good you're blown away and you can't give us any more?
Man, earlier Dr. Knight was reminding me.
Did the experience leave you speechless, Dr. Knight?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Dr.
Boggles.
Knight reminded me of Mr. Sir.
What's
like
that?
Mr. Sir's brother or something.
Mr. Sir? Boggles, what'd you think?
I like certain parts of it. I still can't imagine what exactly this guy does. I
Right.
know he clenches his teeth or something.
Right.
I like when he does. I hope there isn't a level 3, like he does some humorous things.
Right.
There's parts where I feel he tries to be like sound cool when he's writing. I don't like that part. He's not like raw enough.
Give me an example.
It's probably a few paces away of sporting a sport jacket and a face muscle. Really, bro? You really think that shit?
Where is it? Wait. What part?
I'm probably a few paces away of sporting a straight jacket and a face muscle while thrusting myself against white padded walls.
Okay. Gotcha.
I really doubt he thinks that.
Okay.
And I can see that in a few other places, like he's trying to be cool, or like he's trying to write cool in a cool manner, which is kind of okay. But I rather write like him than his coolness or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I like some of the transitions, but I still don't know what exactly he does. Like I know he clenches his teeth and stretches his hand.
Okay.
So that's
Shy
fine.
Willie. Shy Willie.
When he said, "I'm just stretching out," the way he said it, like I felt like I was, like I felt like I've been caught like doing something that seems like awkward, like you're like daydreaming about, or you're remembering something and you laugh or you're smiling and then somebody's like, they're like, what are you laughing about? And then you sort of like feel like ashamed, like that you're doing it.
So you got caught and you can relate to this.
Yeah.
Okay. Paper.
I did not understand what type of mental illness he has, but he brought me into his experience. I wasn't paying attention too much to the details, to what he was talking about in regards to the mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he put it all together, the way he was able to give me analogies, like, let me find an example. Like, the way I cope with stress or any other has been through a bizarre physical ritual. And when he said ritual, I can just imagine, he gives you a picture. And then him saying, or any other S, that was clever. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Clever writing device. Clever arrangement.
Yeah, I enjoy his arrangement with words and the way he structures his sentences.
Yes,
his writing is very pretty to read.
Yes,
it's like checking out a hot chick.
Yeah, yes. Somebody remind me to put who's I want to put? I want to put lighter than air on the agenda for reading an expression. I want to read one of his expression posts.
I love his posts.
You will get an example of
so
the
good.
boundaries of expression that some of you guys don't even press against. Okay, so let's see. DVP.
The entire time he was reading this, and even when other students were giving their critiques, I had to mute my microphone because I was laughing. I was laughing so hard. I found not because I think it's pathetic, I just found it funny because I can relate to this so well. Like, I do something similar where, I have a weird quirk where I'll make a little pattern with my, I can't even say it without laughing. I'll make a little pattern with my hands, and I just kind of related to that a little bit. And,
Bizarre little triangle patterns, serial killer patterns in the air, okay? Little crop circles, personal crop circles with your hands.
Yes, and I've been caught doing this a few times. It's just the way he said it. It sounds like he got caught beating off.
Yeah, that's exactly what I pictured this whole time. That he was caught beating off. That's exactly what I pictured.
That's happened to me once, and I can relate to that a little bit.
Okay.
Also, the way he organized this, level 1.
Level 1 craziness.
I laughed to myself. Level 2. I have this thing about me that isn't right. Just the way he said that.
Right, the arrangement was really good. He's almost like creating a roller coaster ride for you.
Yeah, and the way he described, the little thing he does, and he made an analogy to, a 3-year-old. I remember this one retarded kid in school who did the exact same thing, this. I'm done. I can't.
He's done. Okay, let's go to somebody more coherent. Let's go to Tim.
Well, he really got me into it, particularly level 1 part, when he's describing, what he does.
Right.
And how he uses, a metaphor to straitjacket parts.
Right.
I totally got into it.
Okay.
I actually liked the way he inflected some of the words.
Uh-huh.
The way I cope with stress, distress, or any other S. What I liked best was when at the end of the paragraph, but if you saw me, you'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Right.
that really got me into it. It was almost like I was there catching him doing this ritual.
You were living the experience with him.
Yeah.
Okay, you felt like you're right alongside him. I totally agree with that. One thing I want to point out that's just kind of bugging me, you guys need to figure out the difference between, I want you guys to go, for those of you who don't understand, well, you actually won't even know if you understand or not. I want everybody who is unsure of what an analogy is, a simile, and a metaphor. I want you to look up those definitions after the podcast. Look up analogy, simile, and metaphor. And also descriptive imagery, so you'll know the difference. Because I think a lot of you are confusing this for an analogy or a metaphor, when this is just him making a description. He's using descriptive prose here. He's not using an analogy when he's saying a straitjacket or a metaphor. So I think a couple students have mentioned this, and I want you guys to be clear about what the difference is between an analogy, a metaphor, and a simile is. Also,
I think we should make a post on the forum because it's...
that would be great if you guys had researched, or somebody had looked that up, and you just made a little post about that. That would be great. Also, I think the reading of this was great. There was a lot of his personal reaction was given in this reading, and it really brought me into the experience. I think that Blue's a very clever writer. The way he's arranged this, it's like I said, it's like a roller coaster. It's like an event. I feel like when I'm reading Blue's post, I'm reading like an event. It feels kind of like my posts. Like I have almost like an event, like a deliberate. It's not that I try to arrange things a certain way, but when I read it in the end, I kind of realize it feels like I'm writing a drama almost, and that's the kind of sense I get from this. And the thing that also bugs me about that, though, is that it feels contrived to a certain extent. I feel like certain things, certain senses, like what Boggles mentioned, are almost a contrivance. They're like a novelty item, a gimmick in the writing to give it more of an interest. But for instance, I didn't think this was a gimmick, but I think this is an example of how sophisticated Blue's writing is, where he says, "The way I cope with stress, distress, or any other S, any other S isn't a word, but he's just created his own word to kind of convey the meaning here, which is the same type of thing that Lighter Than Air does to a more extreme level or to a more extreme extent. And I want you guys to get a sense of how pliable language is, how pliable context is. He's created his own context here. He's created his own word, his own meaning, and you get the sense of what he means because he's used two words before it, stress and distress, or any other S. So he's created a context that you're able to follow along with, and now he's created a new word or a new sense of a word so that you can kind of follow along with a meaning, or you can kind of see how he's looking at things through the way he's using these words and how he's bending the language. This is a very important lesson for you as a writer to learn that, yes, there are rules of grammar, which are basic universal rules so that we understand each other in a very basic and simplified format. But once we understand basic rules of grammar, then it's kind of like learning how to play jazz. It's like making your own melody with a language. And that's what I hope that you guys will eventually get to the point where you're comfortable enough expressing yourself with basic grammar. Then you'll start moving beyond that and start practicing, what is it, onomatopoeia, where you use words that sound like, when people say booyah and they type B-O-O-O-O-O-O-Y-A, like they're being phonetic with their expression, so you can actually read that word and hear what they're actually saying, or hearing what a sound sounds like to a certain person, to their experience. So you're using. I gotta do this to you, Tim Willie, but I'm getting the echo. We're ending the podcast right now, so don't worry, we're ending it. So I would hope that you guys would expand your writing, expand your experience, so that you could see that there's more possibilities than just a high school essay structure, a 5-paragraph essay structure. There's not just an introductory paragraph. There's many ways to bend the language. And these guys like Blue, Lighter Than Air, and to some extent some of the newer students, you're starting to see that bending. Once you master grammar, or once you get comfortable enough where you're able to convey your thoughts in a coherent form, then you can start experimenting with your paragraphs, experimenting with the words, experimenting with the language. And this is going to come through reading authors like this, reading other students' work, reading books. You'll see a lot of examples of experimental writing, of bending expression. Like I like to use a lot of pictures to convey thoughts, because a lot of my thinking is done in pictures. So the easiest step for me is to just put a word picture or a picture in there that conveys the sentiment that I'm trying to go after. So there's a lot of ways to structure your writing to express your personal experience. That's what I want to start seeing happening when you guys progress in your expression posts. All right.
How do you spell that? You just said the word automaton writing? Or?
Onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia. Look
Can
that
you
up.
spell it here?
I'm not even sure how to
I'll put
spell
it in
it.
Skype.
Okay.
He'll put it in Skype. Okay, guys.
Okay.
It was a great podcast. I really enjoyed this one. Hope I'll see you again next time. And I think our next one will be on
Friday.
Friday? No.
Yeah.
Friday, I think is our next one. Okay. We'll see you next time.